I was muted. Other than that, I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. I appreciate the having me on. I appreciate the topic we talked about and whatever else is going on. Okay. All right. So I do not like being on panels alone. No, it's okay. 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 'Cause despite what it seems like, I'm not really that much of a talker, especially a solo talker. But anyway, just for the whoever can't hear Brian. Jay Anonymous says he can't hear Brian. Um, anyway, Brian went to get something for his drink, I believe. So for those that are in here and listening, um, I've been involved in parenting, coaching, board of directors for youth sports for over 10 years now. And it's something Brian and I have talked about. I've had good experiences. I've had very healthy experiences. I've had some not so healthy experiences. I've seen some pretty wild things, parent wise, usually, sometimes with the kids. Um, but anything I talk about is kind of from my experience. I have seen videos and things. It would kind of spark this discussion the other day with Brian and I was kind of my coaching career has kind of come to an end because my boys are now of high school age. But I was kind of forced into it because I'm still I want to say yeah, certified to coach. And we had a tournament over this last weekend, and one of our coaches got ejected, and you have to have three coaches in order for to continue. So I was kind of forced back into duty and started talking a little bit about him getting. So he got ejected out of one game, and then they wouldn't let him coach in the championship game. Which anyway, I didn't think was really right because kind of I could see why they threw him out, but I thought that was a little much. But um, they didn't make him leave the premises, which I've seen many times. So anyway, that's what kind of started the thing. I see Joseph Amico. I think that's anyway.
Hey, can you hear me, Jay, now? Thank you, Jay, for letting me know that you couldn't hear me, but I did see I need to make that adjustment. So hopefully you can hear me. I see my voice indicators moving. So I believe that has been fixed. But please let me know if it has not. Hey, Banana, what's up? Hey, you are on Discord, Banana. So if you want to join, please do. I'm going to be drinking. I don't know if you can see this in the with my background, but I'm drinking some Maker's Mark today. Going a little light, if you want to call this light, tonight. Because we went out to dinner for here, and I had a couple of beers, so I'm just going to just sit and smoke on a cigar throughout our discussion. I'm still waiting to see for confirmation that people can hear. Yep, I
Okay.
can hear you loud and clear.
Jay
Yep,
says loud and clear.
yep, awesome. Good to know. Good. I hope everybody's having a great day. I mean, I know we're going to be talking about some topics and things like that. In case you did not hear me earlier, by the way, hey, Deanna, how are you?
Ah, my friend Deanna.
Yeah, if you are in Discord, and if you don't know my Discord, ask around. People will give you the Discord. And you would like to be on panel with us, you're going to have to come on the Discord. If we know who you are more than welcome to come in and join the discussion that we're having. Hello, Kikiliani. The beer's good. Cheers. I'm not drinking beer. I'm drinking Maker's Mark, in case anybody didn't hear that. So cheers to everyone out there in La La Land, in the YouTube streets. Um, but let me say something before we get started, if I may. And this is not drama to me. And I really get annoyed. I won't say aggravated. I get annoyed with people at times. Nightbot's doing his job on Deanna already. I can see that already.
leave leave Deanna's hearts alone.
You know, it's it's weird to me that when I hear people who say one, they say, you know, why are we sitting here discussing another channel, replaying another channel? And we've talked about this, Vic, and there are people who do reaction watching all the time, whether it's Karen videos, chili videos, whatever videos are out there, arrest videos. People see other people's content, they watch it with other people and give their perspective on it. It's nothing new. But then there's another aspect of YouTube that I just want people to understand. There's nothing wrong with it. If you hear something here on our show tonight and you feel as if you want to take it to your panel and discuss it further, say Brian said this, Vic said that, I have no problem with that. I think that's great. I think it's okay. So if someone's talking about donations at some dumbass channel and how those how people were expecting it to be for this and not expect and it wasn't used for that. If I want to talk about some dumbass who's racist or some dumbass who doesn't know how to cook, if I want to talk about those things on this channel, I will. We will. And there's nothing wrong with it. So when people who want to talk and make themselves sound as if they're interesting or intelligent, please stop the nonsense when people when you're trying to tell people not to talk about other people's things that happen on YouTube. Because I keep hearing from the same individual who's saying, why were we talking about those donations that this other person was receiving? But then also going on other channels talking about the relationship issues that these other individuals were going through publicly on YouTube, and he's talking about their relationship issues on YouTube. And I'm scratching my head, going, "Okay, dude, I kind of like this guy." No, listen, I'll mention his name. Shit, what is his name? You know what I'm talking about? What's his name, Vic?
You talking about Tommy?
Tommy DTV. I like that guy, and I heard stupid Mike saying that I was talking in dummy big. Jesus,
Jesus.
they were like, Brian's doing this whole show about you guys over here. He's talking bad about you guys over here. No, I wasn't. I clarified a comment that Tommy made on our last live stream. That was it. I wasn't talking about Tommy. I never said I don't like Tommy. I think Tommy's an okay kind of guy. I think he kind of trips himself up a little bit, but that's just my opinion. And if you don't like people's opinions of you, you might want to stay off of YouTube as well, because people are going to formulate an opinion about streams, content that you create, anything that you have on YouTube. You're going to have somebody who's going to dissect it, love it, like it, dislike it, whatever the case may be. So I was just, man, I was flabbergasted just to hear all the nonsense that people were telling me and Mikey was saying over here, and that we were doing a 20-minute segment about him. And I will be honest with you, I did say this about Mike Cerrone. I do 100% believe he is a 100% idiot. There's nothing smart, intelligent about him. I think he's a moron. I think he's a complete and utter idiot. Period. Nobody in this world that has got any common sense behaves the way he behaves, and that's just. So I wanted to get that out of the way, because it's just baffling to me why people give Mike Cerrone a platform, let them hijack the narrative in which they are actually even discussing with some nonsense. And once again, believe it or not, Mike Cerrone said that I was Flaky Jake. Flaky Jake and I are the same person. That's what he said on Tommy DTV's. Yeah,
Yeah, the similarities are uncanny.
we both smoke. We both like coffee. And I think that's where it all ends, right? I don't think
Yeah, that's
there's
probably. You
anything
guys
else.
like maybe you have some movie interests similar.
We do have similar interests. Hey, are you trying to say that me and Flaky Jake are now married?
That's about. Oh man.
Let's start that rumor because she's not here. She's abandoning us tonight, and so I'm gonna start spreading rumors about Flaky Jake and I are we live
Yeah, she'll be here. She'll be here. Late night. Oh boy, I see. You got some trolls and sock accounts. That's always fun.
But you know what? And that's what's baffling to me. I mean, Mike Cerrone has so many trolls. There's just a lot of people who are actually just not even trolls. People who just flat out will tell him that they don't like him, and I'm one of them. And I just don't understand why he still hasn't either developed thicker skin or just completely removed himself from live panels. Because he gets still triggered when people are on a live panel in the chat saying something negative about him. Oh, and don't forget, he told Tommy DTV that I had like still 30 felony convictions. 37 felony convictions. That's a kind of record. I would be on like I don't know, some poster board of one of the world's greatest masterminds of criminology or something.
So you're cutting out a little bit on my end. I don't know what's happening for the audience.
Yeah, please keep us abreast on the audio on the. Hey, Kane Corso Mom, how are you this evening? You're doing well. Late night game, Mike. Yum's in the house. Hello, yeah.
We have we have a yum. I don't. I mean, I'm assuming it's the original yum.
I don't think I've seen Yum over here in quite some time. So it's very good to see you, Yum.
Yeah,
Very
I'll
good to see
agree.
you.
I mean, there are people, because I don't go around too much anymore. And there are people that I do miss seeing, and
Right.
Yum and I go back a long ways, and I've always had some fun, and I miss Deanna's hearts, man. That's a good person.
Yes, Deanna. I know I've seen her over on. I don't know. I think it's either Angels or Wabbits. I've seen her in the chats over there, but it's also really
Right.
good to see her over here again as well because she used to be a frequent viewer here as well before all the other stuff that transpired. So good to see
Well,
her.
there may be a little bit, you know, um, less pressure on some people to go places now.
And
See, I'm not hearing you, so I apologize if I'm talking over you.
no, you can't hear me at all.
I heard that, but before that, I was talking and I could see you talking, but I couldn't hear you.
All right, I want to turn my. I think I need to turn my levels up a little bit.
Yeah. See, now I didn't hear any of that.
I didn't say anything.
Oh, okay. That would explain it. But now you're frozen, unless you're talking with the cigar.
Yeah, I was talking with the cigar. I wasn't. I'm not frozen.
Hmm. Okay.
I'm gonna keep moving my head and bobbing. So, are you looking at me through Discord or are you looking at me through YouTube?
I'm on YouTube.
Okay.
And I'm on, so I can see the chat, and I'm on a phone, so I don't know
Okay.
if that makes a difference or not. So it could be a lag on my end. I'm not sure.
Not sure either. Um. So let's kind of start into a little bit of our main topic because I don't know if you guys have seen and navigate like I do. I get out of our four corners of whatever community we are in YouTube. I branch out and see a lot of videos. Look at a lot of videos. Hello, Lilith. Lilith. I hope you're doing well tonight. And so I watch a lot of videos that just have absolutely nothing to do with things that most people watch and I see a lot of the videos where the umpires are so fed up in these youth sports events where the parents are driving them nuts and they quit mid-game. I've seen coaches get so frustrated with another team, and this is a youth where he actually was really aggressive with a young player from an opposing team. I've seen other student or other youth athletes blindly punch another wrestler or another person that he was engaged with because he lost. Parents who are watching a wrestling match and they get so upset because of the move that the opposing player or wrestler has made on their child and their child's losing, that they get up and want to be involved in youth wrestling match. It's crazy. And you've seen some of those things as well, right?
No, absolutely. I've seen some of the videos you're talking about, and I've witnessed things in person.
Well, and that's kind of what I wanted to share with people as well, is because I personally, a few weeks ago, went to a soccer game, indoor soccer game for my nephew. And during this game, there was a traveling team. I don't know if they had to play a couple of people from all over. And this my nephew's team is not good. They were just all band together. This is the first time playing with each other. But this traveling team had played together for a while, even though they're seven. Um, and you could tell they had a big bus out in front. They had their names on the back of their jerseys. Their parents all had the same types of jerseys. I mean, this team obviously came from some type of well-to-do. It looked like it from the outside.
Yeah.
It came from some kind of
But how,
well-to-do
how
community.
old? How old? How old did you say they were? I missed that part.
7 years old.
Seven. Got it. Okay.
Now, when you're seven, if somebody makes a goal, you say, "Yay, go Johnny! Good for you, Jack." Something along those lines, you don't make a big deal, right? Everybody cheers for the team. These people were so loud that the field was around. It was almost like a hockey rink where you have that plexiglass in front of you, and the soccer field was on the other side of the plexiglass. They were banging on the glass when everybody scored, and they had this cowbell, and this is inside, folks, not outside. Inside, they had this cowboy bell ringing. Even they were up probably about 5-0. Even at 5-0, they were still doing it. And I was sitting there and I'm looking at some of our parents, and everybody's annoyed. And I'm just sitting there going, to me, this is how I think fights get started between parents. Because if you're going to be that annoying when you are, there's something called sportsmanship. It's almost like when you know you're going to win the game and you got your star players still in it, and somebody goes up and does this monster dunk to kind of showboat when the game is well out of hand. There have been so many fights due to that. And so I was just taken aback by that. I was just like, there's certain things called, again, sportsmanship. And you set the tempo and you set that sportsmanship as a parent to your child, even when they're out there and the score is being ran up because they don't know not to score when they're seven. They just score. They're still, when you're up that much, you should have the coach, you should have the parents just going and saying, you know what, this is out of hand. Let's try to encourage the other team, just so they don't start feeling down on themselves when they're that young. What say you?
Right.
What say you?
No, I agree. I mean, you're talking about 7 years old, but what it sounds like is happening here is whatever town or wherever these people were from, uh, this is very important to them, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
so they've been doing this for so for some time. Like you said, they're seven, but my boys they started playing baseball. Well, my younger one at 4, my older one at 5, t-ball, and you could see right away people that are very much into it. They start these travel teams, and AAU has become a big deal. But so going way back, my younger son was I want to say he was about 7, and there was a summer league basketball thing in town. Well, neither one of them wanted to play, so that was it. Well, my younger one then decided at the last minute, oh, I want to play. So we called the rec league. They're like, well, there's no spots available on his age. The age up, there's a team that has one spot available. So if you're okay with them playing, up, then he can play. And like, oh, yeah, that's fine. He can handle it. He could just whatever. It's just to run around, right? They're just kids. Well, he got on a team, and this was all local in town. He got on this team, and they were just stacked. And I mean, the other teams couldn't even get past the ball past half court with them, and it was just kind of all the luck of the draw. Um, and after a couple games, it just wasn't really fun anymore. You know, my wife and I, we were like rooting for the other team, like hoping they could score and do something, and the other kids just didn't even want to play anymore. There was a set of triplets on the team. And 2 of them were really really tall, and we got to know the parents. You got to know people later, and it wasn't that kids were being mean. It's just hey, they're just playing, right? And
Right.
they happen to have all the good kids on this one team. So we ended up going to the and they had high school kids coaching.
Mm.
So which was cool. So we ended up going to our coach and saying, hey, can we talk to the people running the league and maybe change things around here? Because all the other teams were pretty even.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any way that we could kind of switch things around and maybe have some of our kids we could play on another team so it should be a little more fair? Because because it wasn't about just win. I mean, it was fun. The first game was like, wow, man, we beat them like 50-3, man, that was cool. And then I was like, well, wait a minute, this is like you said, all the other kids just didn't want to play anymore. And at that age, the whole idea is to get kids interested and into sports and want to play and stay out of trouble. Every year that I coached, which was from when my son was 4 all the way through 2 years ago, when we had our kind of our pre-season meeting with parents and the kids, and I got to talk, my thing was, yeah, we want to win. I mean, I'm competitive. Whatever we're doing, we want to win. But more important than that, I want all these kids to want to play next year. That's my goal, to want to keep playing and want to keep getting better. Not that we win, but I made it so miserable for your kids. They don't. That happens too. That kids just don't want to play because it gets so miserable. So I think those parents are. I think they're doing them a disservice. I mean, I see, teaching competitiveness is fine. I'm a very competitive person. All our teams are competitive, but like you said, there's also sportsmanship.
Right.
There's also winning with grace and losing with grace.
Right.
You know.
Well, you play to win the game, right? Then
Right.
Coach Coach Herman from the Jets said that. You
Right,
play
right.
to win the game. That is the goal. But when you and you're kind of speaking to the exact same thing as King Corso says, it's a great builder and breaker of self-confidence depending on the child.
Hmm.
And you being a coach, even when I was single, believe it or not, this was kind of a dumb way to say it, but there's no beating around it. I started coaching for the YMCA because I was trying to meet women. So
Okay, man.
I was coaching 3 and 4 year olds in soccer. I coached them in basketball. Coached my nephew's football team, assistant coach on my nephew's football team. And the one thing that I learned, and mimics what you said, is that there are a lot of times where you have these kids that are really competitive. Even to this day, my son, if he loses on the video game, if we play Mario Kart together, he gets upset. He's really competitive. And I keep telling my wife, I said, listen, he's just working out his competitive spirit. Don't take it personal. He's just going through those motions. And you have to harness that as a coach. But the coach, like myself, we're volunteers. We don't really know what really we're doing. We go out there and try to call plays and try to make them as competitive. We go out and watch another team that we're going to play the next week, see what they're doing to kind of have some kind of strategy. But I didn't really know what I was doing. It wasn't like
Right.
I wanted to be a coach in my uh, career. So coaches are kind of doing what the best that they can. It's a thankless job, but I believe that the parents are the ones that are supposed to kind of help with that molding of the culture of winning and losing and being, grace and defeat and also being gracious when you're a winner. That's not something that I don't think that the coach at that early of a stage can teach you. That's the parents' job. And when they see their parents up there acting and being crazy and talking crazy to other parents in the stands, you see the kids mimic that on the field.
But that's not very true. It's oftentimes, the parents that are you know, yeah, you said the loud ones, the troublemakers, talking, and telling their kids, we've had, parents tell, kids to say, you know, not very nice things to kids on other teams, on our teams, like they'd come back into the dugout or off the field and be like, wow, man, that kid said, I mean, it's pretty nasty stuff.
Oh yeah,
And, I'd go to the other coach and be like, hey, you know what, if this continues, we're either going to pull our kids, or we're going to ask that kid does not play because that's just not and it's a lot of times the coaches don't even know what's going on. It's very subtle and it's coming from the parents. Sometimes, it is the coaches, and especially when you're local in a kind of small town like I am, you
right,
get to know who's who.
right, right. Well, there's another incident that happened with these same parents. And I was waiting to kind of get into this. Uh, the parent with the cowbell was a mom, and her husband was there. The ball got trapped kind of like again, this is indoor against the wall between the wall and the goal in the corner, and a couple of kids had fallen down. This one kid starts punching another kid on the ground, like jab, 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 like this with a closed fist. Now, apparently, this kid was not strong enough to like hurt the kid, but the parent, the mom who was sitting next to me, was like, "What the heck?" And it's funny. So the really funny part of that is me and the other guy, the dad, were sitting next to each other. We were talking to each other about some other stuff. We weren't really paying attention to the game. When the mom started screaming, "He punched my kid!"
Right.
And then everybody else was like, "Oh my God, did y'all see that? Oh, see that?" So the they were the mom was talking and because the stands are kind of close, she was looking at the parents and the dad was like, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry, that shouldn't have ever happened, whatever. Even after the game, and we don't know how the ref or the other coaches didn't see it. Even if our coach saw it, he should have went up to the ref and said, hey, this is not okay, you should be saying something. But nobody on the field placed it. After, it got worse. So my niece, kind of a no nonsense kind of person. So she goes and starts talking to the parents while The dad is over here talking to the parents of the child that got hurt. I mean, got hit, even though it didn't affect him. He's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. That is, I'm going to talk to him. That's my responsibility. That should never happen. Just apologizing profusely." I even shook the guy's hand. It had nothing to do with me. And I said, "Look, man, I appreciate you coming over here and saying that. That's really stand up for you to do that." All the while, his wife is over there saying the kid does probably deserve it.
Yeah, right.
And my niece was like, "What the fuck did you say?
Yeah,
You think he deserves it? Oh no, blah blah blah." Oh my gosh, it became a big deal at that point. And I'm like, "Come on, let's let it die down. There's no reason. Don't let her keep running her mouth over there." And it could have gotten to, if there were men involved that were going to give a jaw back and all that kind of stuff. That's how things also get escalated unnecessarily.
of course.
Well,
Yep.
it's always, if one parent is over here apologizing, the other parent's over there mouthing off, and it's like they think they're better than everybody else. That can be a real big issue. And
Oh
I'm
yeah.
and I'm glad that the mom said it, and the mom probably said it around people. She didn't think that we were going to hear it, so that's why she said it. But if she would have said it around the majority of the other parents, it probably could have raised to a whole totally different level. But again, that just shows you how absent-minded parents can be, in my opinion. Do you think that was responsible, irresponsible for a parent to say?
Well, I think obviously to me it's irresponsible, and let's just say for example the kid that ended up getting hit. Let's say they did something maybe earlier in the game that maybe wasn't noticed, and now that kid was doing some kind of a retaliatory thing. As a parent, you still don't say, "Hey, that kid deserved that." You know, yeah, I mean, there's a better way to, that's kind of the eye for an eye thing. Oh, they did this, we're going to do that, and then it's just going to escalate out of control. And it's interesting because, and I know people may not want to hear this, but obviously moms are more protective of their kids, right, than dads generally in situations like this. But I've also found that they can all be, well, my kid was right and your kid was wrong as
Mhm.
well. That's just from my experience. I mean, some dads are like that, but I see more. Oh, that's my poor baby wouldn't do anything like that, or they must have done something, to make them do that because they're not like that. And in the meantime, the dad's over there like, "Ah, that little bastard, man. He did,"
Yeah.
you know.
Yes.
you know,
Absolutely.
um, and it's just how it is, and what it is, And everybody's like, "Oh, this guy's, I'm sexist and all this and that." I'm just saying what I've experienced over time, where, and fathers, again, being a coach and even being another parent, there's been times where, maybe I've said something, maybe inappropriate, or something to a kid, or there was a play, and um, uh, how could I say it? Maybe saying something to our kids. Hey, you know what? Hey, that kid on the other side is, that's kind of their weak spot. Go after that kid, and maybe somebody
Mhm.
would hear it. And maybe, and again, it depends on the age. 'Cause like I said, I coached all the way from 4 up to when my boys were teenagers. So as you get older, things become more appropriate, right? But there's been times when people have heard me say something like that. Again, men, from my experience, fathers are more apt to come over and say, "Hey, coach, maybe, I heard what you said. Maybe you shouldn't talk like that about and be rational." Whereas, the lady, they'll start cheering. "Did you hear what he said about that?" This is, I'm going to the commission, and just, rouse it. "What did he say?" "Oh, he said my kid sucks," and rousing it up into something that it never was. We had an incident where, um, my son was playing third base, and a kid slid in, and he went to apply the tag, and I was on the other side of the field, so I didn't see exactly what happened, but apparently the kid came off the base, and my son kept the tag on him, so they called him out. The other coach was arguing the fact that my son pushed him off the base in order for him to go off the base, and um, so kind of started this discussion between the umpire, our coach, our head coach, and this coach, and the mom of the kid, who I've known for many years, starts yelling from the stands, "He's a dirty player. His dad teaches him to play that way."
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, what the heck? So I start walking over there, and then our other coach is like, no, 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 no. No, 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 no. We need you. No, no, no. We need you. We need you in the here. So and the other coach, and we hadn't always seen eye to eye on a lot of things. He looked at the mom and he said, "I know the kid, and I know the dad, and that's not correct. Just sit down and we'll handle this." Right in the middle of the discussion. So everything ended, and and after we did our handshake, I told the hey man, I appreciate. He's like, I'm not gonna let people say you're dirty. He's like, you're a lot of things, and some of them aren't great, but I know you don't teach your kid to play dirty, and I don't know why she would, say something like that. And a lot of times it's just a heat of the moment, situation, and people say things. But I did appreciate the fact that he recognized that. But that's how things can get going, right? Because I wasn't gonna start a fight necessarily, but it was like, wait? Why would you say that? What are you talking about? So and again, if I went over, it escalates into something else, and then the husband's like, well, you don't talk to my wife like that, and then pretty soon, and I've seen it all.
It's funny because you kind of hit a topic that I was going to say because again, this is not my child. This is my nephew's son. So my great nephew is playing in this sport. I don't have a dog in the fight necessarily, but
Yeah.
I'm sitting
Can I
here.
say something real quick?
Yeah,
That's why
yeah.
not to interrupt you on this point, but I switched over, so I'm looking at you on
Discord.
Discord, so that way, we're kind of in sync. So I can't see any of the chat. So if anybody has a question or a comment on anything
I'll bring it up.
about me, just let me know.
Yep, I got you.
If they say
Hello.
I'm just a lousy M&F, or you just yeah.
There's
I
just
already know, and so we don't need to discuss that.
there's still a lot of Amico troll accounts that keeps popping up. Ping Pang Poo Amico. That's kind of funny. That's
Yeah,
really funny.
but I don't want people to think I'm ignoring them if they're saying
Yeah, I got you.
something or a question.
Damn it,
Like
Liz.
well,
Damn it,
well,
Liz. Where are you? You could be keeping us up to date on the damn chat, Liz.
yeah, I like to watch the chat, but when I'm in that one, for some reason you're lagged,
Right.
and then I think I'm talking over you. And let me tell you one quick story about when my boys were little. I think it was my older son, and it goes kind of back to the coaching, parenting young kids thing real quick.
Okay.
We're in a basketball league, and the way that they play in this gym, instead of playing like the big court, they have three. It's at the high school, right? So they have three courts, the other across the court, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if everybody understands that, but I think you do.
Yes, I do.
So you're playing full court, but it's like from bleacher to bleacher,
It's
right?
it's half full court.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it's just across the main court. So there's three full courts across the main court.
Right.
Anyway, and they have all these different lines because the gym is used for volleyball and indoor soccer and all these things. So anyway, this dispute starts between this other team and our team about where the out of bounds line really is, right? Which one, and which out of, and they have high school kids coaching or refereeing. So the head coach of our team and the head coach of the other team, and I was a parent for this. I wasn't coaching at this time. Are arguing about where the out of bounds, because they're calling kids out of bounds, and then they're saying no, it's that line, it's the gray line, it's the blue line.
Wow.
And it's a running clock, right? So the game's still the point I wanted to make about the story that was so awesome, and my boys and I still talk about this because we know the family, the other team. The coaches and the two referees were literally putting down tape where they agreed the out of bounds line was and arguing about where it was, right? And the kid said to hell with it, got the ball, and just kept playing.
Wow.
And they were probably around 8 years old. I think it was my older son. They were probably about 8 at that time, and they just wanted to play. You know,
Yep.
they didn't care what was inbounds, outbounds. They wanted
Sometimes
to
you,
play.
sometimes the kids just want the adults to get out of their way and let them
Yeah.
continue doing what they're doing.
So they literally played a good 5 minutes with no coaching and no um, referees because they were arguing and putting down
Oh
tape.
my
They're
gosh.
just playing, man.
Oh,
They're just having fun. That's all they wanted to do. And these guys, you know, it was like Game 7 of the championship to these guys. So this guy here, the other guy, he ended up becoming a real good friend. I coached a lot of soccer and basketball with him later on. So he started bringing his own tape. So before every game, he'd tape off.
oh my gosh.
Yeah, he was super. We did flag football one year, and that got so out of control competitive. And it was actually the same family that had the other, let's say, best flag football team that was involved in that one incident. And it was crazy, man. My younger son was playing running back, and he was pretty shifty. And one of the kids got so frustrated with him that he actually tackled him. He was like 3 years older than him, and
What?
laid him out.
Oh my
Yeah, and
gosh.
now that kid is playing high school baseball with my older son. And when we were and my younger son played with him, so we were talking about it the other day. I was like, "Hey Thomas, man, you remember when you laid out Braylon in flag football?" He's like, "Yeah, man. It's like I could never grab his flag, so I figured it's just not."
You know, I want to, I want to thank
Anyway,
everybody. I want to thank everybody that's in there and watching us. I want to also tell everybody that Vic and I are going to be talking about a little bit about parenting. We were kind of talking a little bit about it before we started, but I want to kind of continue a little bit about the conversation, you know, and all the details that we're going to through Vic. But, you know, men, I think, should openly discuss, you know, fatherhood, what it takes in order, especially when you have boys in sports, daughters who want to play, you know, do what things they want to do in sports as well. How do you navigate as a parent, uh, especially men, because we are men, and if there's any females that want to talk about that from their perspective, I can't speak on it, but I would love to have a female up here. If you're a parent, want to talk about the things that you go through as a parent. But back to this conversation, I want to say this. How many of you, including you, Vic, have made this mistake? Because I was saying I don't know the other teams that they're going to play. I don't really know when we first started watching my nephews play. I didn't really know the other parents. But I had to be mindful because I wasn't sitting next to the parent at this time when I made it, but I had started sitting next to the parent after the games, where I would look at the team that my nephew's playing on and go, why do we have him in there?
yeah, yeah,
Man, that
yeah.
kid is, what is he doing? Why is he standing there? Like, I'm really hard on our team. And I'm like, dude, I might want to shut up because I don't know whose parent that kid belongs to. And they could be sitting next to me and lay me out if I say the wrong thing about their kid. And I know a lot of parents have that same kind of, you know, foot and mouth moment when you don't really know everybody's parents, even when your kid's playing. You don't know every parent because sometimes it's only the dad goes to the practice. Sometimes it's only the mom. You rarely see both parents in some events that you or some of the practices. And it's really funny when you get that foot in the mouth moment when you're saying something that you're critiquing a player you're saying your team, and it's like, God, I wish I would have said that. And I had that moment watching my nephew's soccer. I was like, Jesus, I gotta shut up because I don't know any of these guys. It might be their son. And sure enough, the guy whose kid got punched, I was talking about his son one game. But he and I ended up start being like talking throughout the whole rest of the season. But it could have been, you know, I don't like that guy 'cause he was talking about his son more.
Yeah. My suggestion would be just to keep it positive, and I know it's I know it's tough because we've all been there,
Oh my God.
and we all have those kids that just aren't very good, aren't very coordinated, or and I'll tell you, I mean, I've been in a lot of situations where parents are making their kids play.
Oh, absolutely,
You know,
because
that's
they played it.
that's a yeah, that's a whole nother thing. Kids that really don't want to play, and are out there. It is it's tricky, man. And we've all been there where we've said things like I said about other kids or whatever, and just try to keep it as positive as possible, and you know um, sit near someone and trust, and when you got that moment that man. You just can't take Billy anymore. Lean over to them and God, Billy sucks, but so nobody else hears
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Now we've all been down. We've all been down that road. Um,
But what I
in fact,
mentioned,
my ex-wife was just telling me a story about when I was coaching, and she was sitting there, and I guess the lady in front of her told the person next to her, she was just like, "Man, that guy," and talking about me, "is so loud and obnoxious, and I
mhm.
hate that fucking guy."
Mhm.
And my wife was like, "Well, don't worry, that's my husband, and I feel the same way."
Ah!
And she was like, the lady looked at me like she saw a ghost, man.
That's hilarious. That's
But
hilarious.
and I will say this about myself. Like I said, I'm competitive. I like to get the best out of the kids, and on the fields, I am loud, and I will yell. Um, but I'll never. But I challenge anybody to say where I've said something derogatory to a kid or put a
Right,
kid down.
right.
It's always either encouragement or come on. How many times have we talked about how to do that, but not, man, you're bad or you shouldn't be playing. Yeah, except for maybe my kids, especially my younger one because he can take it. That's the other thing. You have to know how to talk to different kids. I mean, my older son, he's been on teams where the coaches start yelling. Man, it's just
Mhm.
over for him.
Right.
He'll just go in the corner and just not want to play. Whereas my younger one will be like, man, f this guy. Man, I'm gonna play. Twice. He's more that spirit.
Mhm.
But because there's been parents, and again, mostly moms that have come up to me and said, um, when we used to play against you, I really didn't like you, but I
Mhm.
appreciate but I appreciate what you've done for my son, and I see now that it's passion.
Mhm.
It's not putting them down. It's not. It's like we yell at our kids at home. It's not that we don't like them. It's just we think we could do better, and we want more out of them. And again, and I'm not saying I'm not there yelling at 5-year-olds. I'm talking as we got older, and especially in little league, as you start getting older, it gets more competitive, and there's less. And then once my boys, now you're in junior high and high school, coaches don't have to play you
Right.
anymore.
Right. They sure don't.
Little league, you have to play a certain amount of time, and this and that. And so it's kind of preparing the kids. Hey, if you want to keep playing, you have to get better. If you want to be out here and just fool around, I mean, that's fine. I mean, but we're not here to fool around, and so maybe you're going to get a little bit left behind. I've had to tell parents that we want to play your son more,
Mhm.
but come and watch the practice while our other kids are actually taking ground balls or doing the dribbling practice. They're doing whatever, thinking about other things, and it's not fair to the kids that are really trying.
I'm going to touch on, what we do and say to our kids at home in a little bit, and I'll come back to that. But I'm going to ask you this question. When do you, and for those of you who have children that don't play sports or don't have children at all, those of you who do have kids that are in sports, you have to understand it's expensive to put your
Oh,
kids in sports, especially if you are on a select team and you travel. I mean,
oh,
I have family, I have friends of mine whose daughters play select soccer, and it's not for a school or anything. It's just like in this
yeah,
whatever association. They travel Florida. They travel to all over the
Yeah.
place just to play with their team. That's a lot of money involved in that. And there has to be a point in time where you sit there and
Excuse
go,
me.
if I'm going to put my son or my daughter into a sporting event, they have to either be good at some point in time, or I'm going to yank them because I'm putting a lot of money into this sports. And look, the odds of them playing professional sports is maybe 1%, 2%, 3%. I don't know what the percentage is, but it's slim to none that your child is going to be one of those LeBron, James, Messi, whatever, soccer
Right.
player. It's not really probably in the cards. But when do you, Vic, say to yourself, you know, like you said, this is no longer everybody has a chance to play. Everybody gets a participation trophy. This is where because I think it was said in seventh grade, everybody who tried out for the football team made the football team. Eighth grade, ninth grade, you had to make the team. And there are some people who didn't play because they were on the bench. When did you sit there and say, okay, my kids are going to play on because they enjoy it and they really know that they can't look at butterflies in the outfield if they're going to play baseball? Well, did you have that aha moment? Did they tell you? Did you see the talent? What made you to say that this is something that we're
Well, I mean, for me, my younger son has always been more interested. I don't want to say more athletic because I don't really think that's true, but just more interested in doing it and playing. I think my older son did it a lot because I wanted him to. Um, I think he enjoyed it. I think he had physical tools to play, and he's still playing. But which was kind of a surprise because he hadn't played baseball in 4 years, and then came and said, "Hey, Dad, I want to try out for the high school team." And so I mean, maybe this kind of answers your question a little bit and I said, okay. I said, but since you haven't played, you're going to need new pants, you're going to need cleats, you're going to need a bat, batting gloves because all the stuff you have. And I said, I'm willing to buy it. I'm willing, and if you don't make the team, that's fine, but you have to try. You can't come back a week and say, I don't want to do it anymore because I put out, this money and made a commitment. If I make a commitment to you, you have to make a commitment to me.
mm-hmm.
And he did. He tried out. He made it anyway. Um, I, I I think so, okay. So I think the question's a little bit complicated for me because I believe that I mean up until say junior high, I think everybody should have an opportunity to play. Whether now because you could play in a rec league and you could play where it's like less competitive. And I think that's okay as long as you're playing, as long as you're doing your thing. Now, when you start getting into what you're talking about, even little league or into the travel stuff, um, that you got to start making more of a commitment early. Again, because of the money, the travel. Again, a lot of these teams, like you're talking, even the soccer team, like you're talking about, they start getting competitive, where they're going to take your money, maybe, but they're not going to play you and they're not going to coddle you. So I think it depends. I think it's also important for kids to play multiple sports.
Mm-hmm.
I think people start pushing kids into one particular sport and they get burnt out on it and they don't want to play. Because I've seen that with kids too. Where by the time they get to junior high or high school, they're like, hey, I'm just done, man. I've been pushed too hard, and they don't want, I mean, the what do you want to say? Kind of the gold standard of that story was Todd Marinovich, right? Remember Todd Marinovich? He went to USC, the Heisman Trophy winner, and then he got drafted by the Raiders, and then
No.
he ended up flaming out because he got into drugs and everything, and it came out, later that his father had pushed him like so hard, and he was like stretching out his hamstrings and things when he was like 6 years old to make him grow and more athletic, and the kid just ended up. I don't know. He may have even passed away from drugs. I'm not sure about that, but I know he ended up flaming out because of drugs as a pro. and I think kids just get pushed too much.
Ryan Leaf was similar to that. He played for the Chargers.
Ryan Leaf, yeah.
Hmm.
I think it's I think it's important, and again, I think possibly with my older son, I mean I didn't push him like that obviously, but making him play like all the different sports because I thought it was good. Um, I think it's a balance between the parent and the kid. I mean, like you talked about the people that are going to make all that money and the LeBrons of the world. You got to be dedicated. I mean, we look at these people and we say, "Oh, these athletes are making these millions and this and that," and they're overpaid, and they may be, but they've been, how many hours they've been putting in
Right.
since they were kids every single day, and if they're dedicated to do it, I mean, then they'll do it, right? I mean, a kid that likes, well, like yourself, you're in, IT and all that. There's a kid that likes coding, and he likes numbers, and he likes computers, and he wants to spend hours a day at it. Well, later on in life, he could become very successful, right? Scientists, if you like being like science, at some point in your life, you could be very successful. But you got to have a passion for doing it, and you can't force your kid to have that passion. Like I said, my younger son, he likes to play, he likes to do this thing, but he's not going to shoot 10,000 jump shots a day to try to get, you know what I mean? It's just
Right.
not.
So
It's just not going to happen.
that's a good segue to the segment that I wanted to talk about too. As parents, when do you decide you're pushing your child to something that you want more than what they want, as opposed to letting them just let natural progression take its course? Because here's my thing: when I was talking about the parents that may push kids a little harder because they may see something even that resembles what they used to do. I was talking about me. I'm that parent with my 5-year-old to a certain extent. I can throw baseballs. My 5-year-old, not off of the tee. I'm throwing baseballs in the backyard, and he's hitting. Some of the, I mean, they're not hard balls, but those little plastic balls. And sometimes he hits them over the fence to my neighbor's yards. And I'm sitting there going, "Holy crap! I've got Derek Jeter on my hands.
Right.
Holy crap!" And then when we play video games, because again, everybody knows that I am in technology as my profession. My son knows how to navigate a mouse on a laptop, like a full mouse, not just the iPad with the fingers and touching, because that's easy. I think that most toddlers probably know how to navigate an iPad or an iPhone. But my son knows how to play Roblox, which is arrow up, arrow down, arrow move. You got to hit these other keys, jump up and move, and do all these other fancy things. It even looks complicated to me. So I'm sitting there. Let's see who joined. Who joined? Oh, is that Mike? Hey, Mike.
Brian.
What's going on, Chief? Good to see you, man. It's late night, Vic. Late night, Mike.
Yeah. What's up, Mike?
Can you hear us, Mike?
I don't hear Mike.
He just said, "Hey,
Mr.
Brian."
B or
He said, "Hey," for a quick second. Uh, yeah, Deanna, you definitely need to get on Discord and join our Discord channel. And listen, I tell people all the time, and I'm really talking to Laura Rader. She is just hell bent on not getting on Discord. If you run your Discord channel the way you run your live stream, you won't have a bunch of drama, a lot of just stupid stuff. We have a really good time in our Discord, so if you do get on Discord, please join us. We would love to have you on panel, or even not on panel. We talk daily on our Discord. We really have a good time.
Yeah, Brian, you got a really good Discord. I've tried to emulate some of the stuff you've done in my Discord.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
A tight ship.
Thank you very much. Well, I don't necessarily run a tight ship. I just think we have good people. Good people who, have respect for each other. That goes a long way to kind of weeding out some of the nonsense when everybody kind of gets along for the most part. Not saying that we have to agree every time on everything we talk about, but we respect each other enough to know that we're not going to go and push the envelope and push buttons to make people upset to where they don't want to be around in our Discord channel.
It makes sense. I feel like we got a pretty good group ourselves. Like, we don't really deal with too much nonsense. And the minute I have anybody that starts doing anything crazy, I just take their abilities away. I just don't want to see any nonsense. You know what I mean?
I'm still on your channel too, man. I hope you include me in that being good over there. I'm on your channel. You're one of the you're one of maybe four other ones that I am actually in the Discord channel. I give out a small number of Discords that I go into as well.
Very cool. You guys, you have a certain topic you were talking about? It sounded like you were talking about sports.
Well, no. So now we're actually talking about parenting. So I was talking about me and my son. How and this is kind of a funny story. My wife is probably watching, or if not, she'll watch again. But sometimes my son and I are playing video games because, again, he has every video game system outside of the PS5. He has every video game system that he has. So on the Nintendo Switch, we play certain games, and one of those games is Mario Kart. He'll play Mario Kart, and he sits there and he will have. When we first started playing, of course, I'd let him win, just to kind of get that sense of how to play the game. But then there was times where I would win, and he gets upset. He's like, "I don't want to play. I'm leaving. I'm out." His favorite thing is, "I'm out of here. I don't want to play anymore. I'm out of here." And I go, well, I'm laughing at him. And my wife is the most kind-hearted person. She's like, "Babe, you are too hard on him." No, I'm not. Like, he knows how to. He knows what kind of buttons to push, and I know what kind of buttons to push with him. Even though he's 5, I will smack him. But I'm just kidding. I'm not saying I would smack him. I mean, I'm just that bravado. And she will go in her bedroom, and then all of a sudden she'll come out of the bedroom because me and him are going at it, and then he's winning, and he'll go, "Hey, hey, hey," and he has this dance when he has his victory dance. He shakes his butt in the face, and then he'll sit up there and get on the couch when we're playing, and he'll sit his butt on my shoulder as he's playing, and if he wins, he gets all in my face. And I'm just like, okay, all right, kid. And so sometimes when we're like going back and having that kind of back and forth, my wife thinks that we're arguing. And I keep telling her, like, wait a minute, no, this is not arguing. I'm teaching him how he can, have that competitive spirit, but don't let it go too far. I won't let him go too far. But also he has to understand there are going to be people he plays with in a competitive nature that are going to push him. And when they're going to be doing the dance when they win. And he can't cry about it if they do the exact same thing he does when he's winning.
Right.
So I struggle with the competitive because I was an athlete. I struggle with the competitive juices flowing, even when I'm playing my 5-year-old. But he understands that. It's always, "Dad's my best bud," kind of a thing. I enjoy that as a bonus as a father. When you have your kid tell you those types of things, that's a bonus. And it's just one of those things I want to ask, to the people in the chat and to Vic. Do you have those moments with your kids and you go, this is just part of being a father, or is it something where you go back and go, maybe I did kind of push it a little too far. I don't know what I'm doing. 'Cause I might be, living vicariously through my kid because he's so great.
Yeah, I mean, I never. I have an 18-year-old stepdaughter, so we don't really have that same kind of competitive spirit like you would probably with like a father and son. But one of the things that I learned growing up, I was a pretty sore loser when I was very young, like 5, 6 years old. I remember trying to play games and losing, and I remember like getting really upset, crying,
Same.
and my dad, he didn't want to basically hurt the competitive spirit, but he wanted me to learn how to win properly and then also how to lose properly.
Right.
To learn how to not to be basically a not a sore loser. What is this guy doing? So he never really allowed me to get too crazy when it came to winning. Like he never, like the whole celebration thing, he wasn't a big fan of. Like, of course you can get excited, but he didn't want me to do any of the crazy dances or anything like that. Like I played hockey and baseball, and anytime I won, it was like he really tried to encourage me to just be humble about it and wave and thank people, but not go nuts. So
No showboating.
no
Showboat,
showboating,
right.
because the showboating thing, as much as it gets a competitive spirit, it's also it's almost like pushing you too far one direction. So when you lose, you tend to come back the other direction, right? And I think the more you showboat, the harder it is for you to lose. At least that's what I felt like.
Right.
So that's I just try to my dad always taught me to be more neutral if I could. Now don't get me wrong, I get excited when I win, and I still hate losing, but the extremes aren't there anymore, if that makes any sense.
Right. Absolutely.
I agree. Win gracefully and lose gracefully.
Exactly.
You know. And there's a time for emotions too.
Definitely.
I mean, over the years, my boys have cried at after games, and it's okay. I teach them that it's okay. I mean, as long as it's in perspective, right? You're not crying every time you strike out. You're understanding that it's just a sport, and it's not the end of the world. It's different than things that are really serious to cry about. But there's sometimes you put so much effort into something that and so much heart into doing it that you just break down, and that's okay. And the one thing that I always try to tell them is, I'm extremely proud of you guys when you win. They have banners in their rooms. They have trophies. They have, we talked about winning the tournament this last weekend, and we had a lot of fun. And they, jumped around and poured water on the kids and all that. But I said, I'm just as proud of you guys when you lose, as long as I know that you tried your hardest.
Right.
And as long as they know that, I think it's okay. Now, again, I've been in situations where we've lost, and kids have, I'm not going in the handshake line, or we got second place in a soccer tournament one time, and the coach's son, because it was like the winners got trophies and second place got medals, and when we got the medals, he took his and he threw it.
Wow.
And yeah, and his mom went nuts. We were talking earlier about women are get more, kind of oh man, she grabbed him by his arm and dragged him to the I don't even want to know what happened after that.
That sounds like my wife would do. That's something my wife would do.
Oh man.
Absolutely.
And he's an extremely competitive kid, and not a bad. He's kind of a stoner now, so I don't know exactly. He still plays basketball, but I don't know how competitive he is anymore. But not a bad kid. And again, it was just an emotional reaction to come in second place, and like I said, I've through the years of coaching, I've seen a lot of things.
Similar to Mike, I actually also used to be very competitive at an early age, where even if I couldn't figure out something, and I'm one of those guys that I have to know why something works. And if I couldn't even figure out why I couldn't put the train that I took apart back together to make it work the exact same way, I would get so frustrated that I would start crying. And my dad would get really mad because I'm crying.
Right.
Why are you crying over something so small, so stupid? Blah, 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 blah. And I was like, it was hard for me to understand and control my emotions at that time. Same thing that I see a lot in my son, what he does when he's just getting, warmed up on how he's dealing with that competitive juices. You want to win, you want to figure out stuff, and he does the exact same thing when he can't figure out something. If he can't figure out a mission that he's supposed to be on, and he always says, this game is blah, 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 blah. I'm like, no, it's not nothing wrong with the game. You just have to be patient, blah, blah, blah. But I believe that that competitive spirit, winning and losing, teaches you things that you're not even. I think sports taught me more than math classes taught me in life.
100%. 100%.
Yeah. So I learned that even when I'm you know, got a prospective client and I'm doing a bid for it, and somebody else is doing a bid for it, if I don't get it, and I think that I am the best qualified company for it, I don't cry anymore. But it tells me, and I always like feedback. And that's what sports and coaches are there for. Coaches teach you a lot. And parents should also do the same thing, where when you lose, they should be telling you what we can improve on as a team, what we could be doing and improving on as players, so that the next time we're in this situation, we know where we went wrong and we can maybe possibly win the next time. It's not always about they're just a better team, you're never going to win. There are the moral stories behind winning and losing. If you ask.
Yeah, definitely. And like even though I was taught to win gracefully and lose gracefully, I still felt the same emotions. The biggest difference was
Yeah.
that, like, kind of like what you guys said about slapping after every game it was always like we had to line up. I don't know if this was just what we did in the area, but we always had to either pound the gloves or shake hands at the end of the game. And there's definitely that resistance. And I remember a couple games like hitting the hand a little bit hard because I was mad,
Oh yeah,
in that
Oh
respect.
yeah.
You know what I'm
Oh
talking about? And
yeah.
that was they really just got. But as long as I didn't throw, like you were saying, throw a
yeah.
trophy or anything like that, I was just
Yeah.
you can't be a sore loser. I always heard that. Oh man, don't be a sore
Right.
loser. You gotta,
Mhm.
Yeah. No, nobody said you had to look anybody in the eye when you were in the handshake line, right?
yeah. Yeah.
You look at the ground and just, keep going. But and we we kind of joke around, and I don't know if Liz ever came in and she's listening, but we kind of joke around with her about sports, and
Mhm.
she doesn't really care for sports, and that's okay. I mean, to me, ultimately, it's like Brian was saying, it's what the sports teach you. And it's not even so much about putting the ball in the basket or what have you, but it's I mean, again, golf's a little bit different because it's kind of you in the course, and I get that one, or tennis, where it's kind of just you. But with these other sports, you're relying on other people, and it's
Exactly.
teamwork and building up the other person.
Mhm.
And that's something that we always teach. I mean, you're only as good as your weakest link. So let's make the weakest kid on the team better. You know, instead of putting them down and saying, well, they're no good and we're just not going to play them. Right? We make everybody better around us. Um, and for me, it kept me out of trouble as a kid. It's kept my sons out of trouble. It's been really, a bonding thing over the years for my sons and I. And I think that's a beautiful thing. And it doesn't have to be ultra competitive like the things we're talking about. I mean, we've kind of gotten to that point at times, but it could just be something fun. Hey, you want to try for the basketball team, so a father or a mom taking their kid out to shoot baskets. I mean, those are memories that'll last forever. Plus, these days you're getting exercise, fresh air, getting off the Mario Kart. Like Brian and his son are just in
Yeah.
there like 12
Mhm.
hours a day. I don't know when this guy works, man. Between video games no, no,
You know
no,
what? I
I
was
mean,
going to touch. I was going to touch on
anything
something.
to get kids outside, man. I'm all for it. Anyway, go ahead. Go ahead,
So,
Brian.
so you know, listen. Let's just be blunt and honest. Excuse me. We all know that there are a lot of people we run across in the YouTube streets, and a lot of people that we meet that have just the maturity level of a 12-year-old. When we hear them talking about they don't really want to work, they don't want to hold up to their
Sorry.
responsibilities, all those types of things. I don't mind having these conversations, and if it offends them, I don't care because they're the ones that are putting their situations, their personal situations on YouTube. Everybody, again, we started saying this at the beginning. People are going to dissect it. People are going to have opinions. If you don't want people to have opinions about whatever it is that you are discussing about your personal life, stop talking about your personal life.
Yeah.
Having said that, there are sports that I also believe that actually help us deal with life situations. Like when somebody says, you know what, I keep getting a no because of my background, or I keep getting a no because of this, or I keep getting a no for that. People who learn from failure are probably some of the most successful people in the world. I always like to use Hershey as an example. Hershey, who came up with the chocolate formula, whatever they did, he went bankrupt like a lot of times before he came up with this formula for Hershey's candy bar. And if you have not, and you don't have the History Channel, I believe it's History Channel, they actually have now a show that talks about food that built America. And they talk about the guy who
Oh
invented
yeah.
Kool-Aid. They talk about the guy who
Mhm.
invented, all the guy who started Starbucks that was turned down by Starbucks before he actually bought Starbucks and turned it into Starbucks.
Mm.
Mhm. Yeah.
But character, these types of events when you are small, help build character. And one of the things, as a father, I always like to tell people there's not, and listen, I've made this a point of saying this before in other chats or other live streams, that I didn't always have a really great relationship with my mother for various reasons.
To your mother or your brother?
My mother.
Okay, your mother.
Even my older brother, I've talked to my other crackhead brother a lot of times. I don't mind talking about that. But a lot of people don't understand that I didn't really have a really good rapport with my mother. My wife, who I've been married to for 5 years, believe it or not, just met my mother for the first time 2 weeks ago, or last weekend, for the first time.
Wow.
First time. And
Okay.
it was a great moment. It was a healing moment. But it's one of those things where when you learn how to deal with your emotions, whether negative or positive, there are times when you sit there and you have to say, I'm learning as I go. And I still learn to this day. It bothers me when I see people talking about the exact same thing about their lives and they are not doing anything to change it. All they're doing is sitting there wallowing in the same cesspool of their life that what they created and making excuse after excuse after excuse of why they're there. Learning and being a person who grew up and played sports is you have to go back and look at the tape. Look at how you played. This is that play that you didn't have the glove close down to the ground and the ball went between your legs, or
Yeah.
you didn't line up your jump shot on that last 3-pointer you took and missed and cost us the game. You have to understand that those are things that you go back and you work on. Even in my business, line of business, I have to sit there and go, you know what? I've made several mistakes that may have put companies in jeopardy because I made a small error in either the code that I wrote or the syntax in that rule that I put in place that stopped from vulnerabilities from seeping in. And I have to go back and learn from those mistakes so that I know now that mistake that I made, I should not do it again. And I actually tell people, if you're going to do something like that, make sure you don't put that in your in the syntax of that code.
Right. Yeah.
It bothers me, and it's not. I'm not saying this is good, bad, or indifferent. It just annoys me when I see people who don't learn from their mistakes.
Yeah. I hear you.
That's the
Um.
that's the character building.
Well,
Yeah.
changing and learning from your mistakes and doing something different. That's hard. That's hard, and that's challenging. And some people just don't want to do hard and challenging. It's a lot easier to just sit and wallow in your misery or your self pity because that's comfortable. You know, because you get comfortable in your misery or you get comfortable in where you are. Um, it's not very rewarding. The most rewarding things that I've ever done in my life, I will tell you, were not easy, but they were worth it.
Mike, I'm gonna let you jump in real quick, but I want to just say this real quick. It takes zero effort to be a loser. Zero effort. If you want to be a loser,
Well,
you don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
that's true. But I mean, even just staying where you are, whether a loser or even mildly successful, or wherever you want to put it, is kind of easy, right? And we talked
Yeah.
about kids that really want to excel in sports, right? And we talked about it's such a small percentage to get to that level, but you got to have that drive. I mean, and it's in anything you do. I mean, you look at somebody like what's his name, Zuckerberg, right? You'd say whatever we want about the guy, right? And he
Right.
came up with,
Facebook.
Facebook and all those things. But I mean, there's a lot of people that are very tech savvy that maybe had that idea, but I don't know. It may not work. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But him, it's somebody that's going to push it to that next level. And then once you get there, to keep pushing it.
Right.
I mean, you look at somebody like him, or like a Musk, or any of these guys, Bezos, whatever. Somebody like myself who isn't that driven, that says, "Man, I'm worth $1 billion." I mean, that guy's worth billions.
Yeah.
It's still working. It's still doing shit. I mean, if I had that kind of dough, man, I'd just be sitting on a beach, right? Because I'd just be laying on the beach doing nothing,
Right.
right? But that's why I never got to that point, because I read, I mean, I'm whatever you want to say, mildly I don't know, middle class, mildly successful, whatever you want to say, but that's good enough, right? I mean,
Right.
I mean, I wouldn't push it to say, man, could I have been a, a more successful accountant, right? Yeah, probably, because there are more, you know what I mean? There are more, but I was comfortable with where I was with that. So I think that's where, you know, it separates the people that get to those such highly successful levels. But at the same time, I didn't wallow in what could have been a very pitiful life either. You know what I mean? I recognize that, hey, I got to do something to be a productive member of society.
Right.
For myself, for everybody else. And I think when Brian's talking about the people that are just like, hey, you know what? I'm I'm good just breathing air and collecting checks, or what have you. You
Right.
know. Um,
Yeah. I mean, I actually kind of disagree a little bit with. I mean, it takes zero effort, but I don't think it's easy to be in that situation, because you have to deal with, you know, not having any, money to do anything. You have to deal with having health issues because you're stressed, you're jealous of other people that are succeeding. It's actually a pretty miserable existence.
mhm.
No,
Um,
I didn't say it was fun. I didn't say it was
yeah,
Right,
fun.
miserable.
no,
Uh-huh.
no, you're
I
right.
didn't say it's fun. And hello,
Right.
Hebrew.
For sure. But on the other side, and this is something I still have trouble with. Maybe when I stop having trouble with it, that's when I'll break through with, the company that I have and all that stuff. But a lot of, like you're saying, like feeling uncomfortable is like a big thing that a lot of people that have done really well in life have like really come accustomed to. And that's the whole thing behind. I don't know if you heard of like waking up super early, taking a cold shower, like starting your day and just like having to suffer through a cold shower and then go to the gym and like kind of do the things you don't want to do like really super early in the day and like get routine. It's all part of the same thing, and it's that feeling uncomfortable mentality that I think you just have to get used to if you really want to blow past whatever level you're at.
Well, let me
And
let me put it in perspective also, because I've heard Mike, I've heard you on several streams saying that you are, supplementing your income because I think you were doing insurance or you're doing insurance, but then you're also doing other things to bring residual income into your household. You've got
sure.
other revenue streams filtering into your home. I also do the exact same thing. You think Michael Jordan was satisfied when he got his NBA contract? Fuck no. He got Gatorade, he got Nike, and then Nike, if you haven't seen the movie Air, he was the first person that said, "Hey, I want 10% of everything you said."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
There are actors out there who make $20 million per picture, but they still do commercials. They don't say I did $20 million, so I'm good for life. They keep making
Right. Right.
movies. They
Oh, well,
keep
yeah.
making movies.
Exactly.
They're not satisfied with just saying, "Hey, I had this one gig that got me this much money." People in my circle aren't just happy with saying, "Oh, I'm getting this paycheck." That's not even what it's all about if you ask me about life. Life is I want to be comfortable enough to where my children, my even if somebody asks me if they need something, I might be able to extend an offer to help them. I want to be able to be that person. So I strive to be better and keep having if there's money out there for me to make, you best be assured I'm gonna go out there and make it. Nobody's gonna tell me I'm not good enough. Because if they tell me I'm not good enough, I'm gonna go to the next person. That other person is gonna be like, "Damn, this is great. I love what you're selling here. So please sign me up. Come over here and help me do what you do best." That's what
Yeah.
the competitive spirit taught me: is don't take no and lay down. You have to get back up and play the next game.
Like Brian, without having to like give any personal information, I mean, do you like what you do as far as like the category of work that you're in and you know, the daily
Well,
tasks that you have to do? Do you enjoy what you do?
I don't make it a secret that what I do. I'm security company. I have a cybersecurity company. And when I don't have contracts with my company or contracts come to an end, I'm also employed as a cybersecurity engineer by really big companies. So while I'm lucky, I mean, really fortunate that I'm able to work remotely. So I have my office, like I have probably 7 PC or laptops at my office, where each laptop is
Yeah.
for a specific organization or company. So
Oh
I
wow.
enjoy it. I enjoy it because since I was 7 or 8, like I was saying before, I was taking things apart. And if I couldn't figure out how to put it back together and get it working again, I was frustrated. I was so upset. So technology is in my bloodstream. It's all I've ever wanted to do.
But that's my point is that and that's kind of the same thing with like Elon Musk and a lot of these other guys. It's like, yeah, they're pushing hard, but they also don't hate what they do either.
Oh yeah,
You know what
you
I mean?
gotta
It's not
have
like
some
it's
love, right?
something
Passion. Right. It's a
it's not
passion.
about the
Yeah.
tech. They've I kind of don't. I'm not a big fan of when they say, "Oh, find a passion," but there is something to be said because like sometimes you have to just do shit you just don't want to do, right?
Right.
And that's like part of punching through. But at the same time, though, it's a lot easier to put in those hours and to really go through a ton of adversity when you do enjoy what you're doing. And that's like to me like kind of like the biggest difference. For somebody like yourself that's running 7 companies and somebody like me that's like, that's pushing effort through, but maybe isn't like in love with what I do. Like I'm still trying to figure out like what that like real like true like love is, so I can put in 80 hours and not feel like I did. You know what I mean? And
Well,
that's like a personal thing. Sort
let
of
me
like broke.
let me just respond to you by saying this.
Yeah.
You have time. I mean, everybody has time. I mean, we have. If you've ever watched Shark Tank, there are people, entrepreneurs, they're in their 50s, 60s, still pushing ideas just to kind of
Oh
say,
hell
hey,
yeah.
this is the one. This is the one. I feel passionate about it. You don't. No one has to sit there and say there's a timeline on success. You can work at your own pace, and then one time, after working several different careers, you might find one and said, "Hey, I really enjoyed this one," because somebody gives you an opportunity, and that opportunity you didn't think actually was ever going to come, and then when it comes, you're like, "Gee, I really enjoy doing what I'm doing." And
Right.
that's what happened to me because I was doing data entry, trying to get into IT, and then one of the guys, don't mind telling you because I think he's passed, but this vice president of the company I worked for doing data entry, called me into to a meeting because my manager couldn't make the meeting. She was out of the office, and she said, "Hey, Brian will go in and represent our department because they were coming up with some new technology to help data entry, doing what we had to do." After I left that meeting, he came to my manager when she came back in the office and said, "I want to hire him." And everybody in the company was like, "What the fuck did you say?" And I said, "I have no idea." But he was so enamored by the conversation that he had with me. He said, "I want him to come over here and run our help desk. I think he's that intelligent." And I said, "What the fuck?" And ever since then, I have worked my way up from help desk, network engineer, developer to cybersecurity. And it was because I enjoyed every minute of every opportunity that I had. It wasn't like somebody gave me an opportunity and said, "Hey, come out and be this cybersecurity engineer." I put in the effort, I put in the training. Even when I go off, when I'm not on YouTube, I'm sitting up here and I'm taking certifications. I'm doing all that kind of stuff because I know somebody's going to ask for a certification in order for me to open up the door to get in there and meet with them and tell them that I can fix whatever it is that they've got out there. That is what I'm saying about it's easy to be a loser or easy to be lazy. You don't have to put in a lot of effort. But when you find something that you're passionate about, whether if it's RC cars and that's something you're passionate about, make a living doing it. Find ways in order to bring revenue into your household. And don't sit there and just say, "This is a hobby, I'm going to have fun." See how you can actually generate revenue from it.
Right,
And if and,
exactly.
it, and if you don't
Um,
know how, talk to somebody. You can sit there and say, "Hey, I got these ideas. How can I get started?" Surround yourself with people who are going to help motivate you and propel you to the next level, not for people who are going to pat you on the back for being the lackluster, lazy person that you
Right. Enablers. We talking about enablers, man.
are.
You
And
know.
I'll be honest with you, I don't mind mentioning names over here. I said the same thing about Joe Vegas Valley. I said the same thing. I said, if he's that passionate about being this, a MacBook repair person, do it. Be successful at it. More power to you. Nobody's gonna come at you sideways and say, you should be repairing MacBooks. Not that I think that there's a big business in that, because motherboards don't always go bad like they used to. But if that's something you want to do, you have to navigate through changes. Technology changes at least every 6 months, every year, every 2 years. So you have to stay on the cusp of what is changing in whatever career field that you decide to go into. And even if it's coffee, like Flaky Jake is saying, Liz, there are coffee pods, coffee grounds, coffee beans. There's lattes. There's cold frappuccinos. There's different flavors. Now they're putting olive oil in coffee. Things change. You gotta, if you have a passion for it, know what the changes are so that you can be on the cutting edge, not leading edge, cutting edge of what's going on and whatever discipline you decide to be in.
yeah, man.
Oh, and let me just say this too. Even on YouTube, it took uh, just for fun. It took Dick Inside and a couple other trolls to get me to understand that I can't take myself so seriously on YouTube. Because when I first started, they were coming at me. Trust me, Mike, you don't even know this part. Just for fun used to hit me hard. Dick Insider came at me hard every time I was live. Every time. And it was because I was going back and forth with Vegas Valley at the time and all this other stuff. And people will still
Yeah,
come up to me right now, and if I'm on Ham Banana, they don't come over here as much, but because we don't do as many lives. But people were coming at me, and I would just get mad. I would sit there and kind of not necessarily the Mike Cerrone, but I'd go to the chats and I'd be like, "Get these people out of here," blah 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 blah. Until I kind of learned how trolls are kind of funny if you can laugh at yourself. If I can laugh at myself and I can go and have drunks and concussions come over here and have a little fun, I just, that's fine because YouTube is supposed to be lighthearted. We're supposed to just take the punches and keep rolling with it.
Yeah, man. I've actually had a good experience with trolls. Like Joey Waffles. Like I hated that guy. Literally hated that guy, and he would just come at me like and he knew exactly what to say to piss me off every time.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? And then it just eventually it was kind of like same thing. It was like I started seeing the humor, and then I finally just like it didn't even like got to a point where I didn't even like acknowledge it. Like oh yeah, that's just Waffles.
Yeah, that's just what they
And
do.
then next thing you know, they stop doing it because they can't get a rise out of you anymore. You're not reading their comments. They move on to the next victim.
But you know
You know,
what? I've learned to read the comments, laugh at the comments. I'll listen. I actually was doing this too. I take whatever you're going to say negatively, especially when Joey was doing it. I take the picture where he put me a monkey mask on me and my wife's picture, and I made a video about what they were doing over there.
yeah,
Use it against them. If they want to be disgusted, not saying that Joey Waffles. I'm not saying Joey Waffles did it. I'm just saying, when you have people who want to be, take the trolling to a different level, hey, expose them. I like it when people expose who they are. Hey, what's up, Thumper? What's up, Chief? I didn't even know you were here. Good to see you, man. I don't mind when people expose who they really are. I believe them. And I will tell you and tell everybody else, this is what this person is. You might not like it if I say it, but I'm going to tell you my opinion of you, and I can still be cordial with you. I mean, me and Mike have not really seen eye to eye on a lot of things, but I like it. I like having conversations with Mike. I like having conversations with Samantha P. We don't see eye to eye on a lot of things, but I'm not going to sit there and go, "Oh, I don't fucking like them. They're just blah 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 blah." I'm not supposed to see eye to eye on everything that you and everybody else how they see it, because we're different people.
absolutely.
The problem is these days, right now, there's very few um, channels and panels that you can go to and have an actual discussion about the differences that you have.
Oh,
Be,
preach.
because you get on there or you even just watch them, and it's just people screaming at each other
Right.
and yelling and trying to bring other people's business into it. Well, what about this that guy said, and F you, and you're wrong, and you're a this supporter, and you support that guy, so you're no good, and that's no way to have a discussion, man. Even if you don't agree with people, not everybody has to agree on things, but there comes a time when you just want to have a actual discussion about things, and that's
Yeah,
why this is one of the few panels I'll go on anymore, or even listen to. I don't even go to any of the channels and listen because it's always the same fighting, right? About who said what about who and what they're doing, and if you don't agree, then that makes you a. I mean, I don't even want to say the words that people call people, man. And that's no way to have. I mean, we're supposed to be adults, right?
Right.
Most of the people that we're talking about that we deal with on here are at least say 30 plus.
yeah,
I'm plus plus. you know, I'm 50, but I mean the people we're talking about are at least in their 30s, man. And we talk about that they're kids or they're this. No, I ain't fucking kids, man. They're fucking 30 years old. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And you can't have or even 40 and 50-year olds that we know, and you can't have a discussion about something and disagree about something.
I'm gonna put Mike on the spot for a quick second. And
Okay.
not trying to interrupt you there, Vic,
No,
but
that's all right.
so the last conversation that we had, I believe it was, I think it might have been, it probably was on Amazon, and Mike was over there, and everybody was saying that we were talking about Mike for 20 minutes, and Vic was over there on Tommy DTV's because I saw the
I'm glad you
replay.
brought this up.
Yeah, they saw, and they were over at Tommy D TV, and they were like, "Oh, Brian is talking about me." And Tommy D was like, "Is he talking about me?" And Mike was like, "Oh yeah, they're talking about you over there, and they're saying this." And Quick Vic was like, "Brian's talking about me," and Quick Vic was like the biggest proponent of like, "Oh, Brian's over there talking mad shit." I'm like, Quick Vic, I'm talking about specific incidents, specific interactions that I have with people. I'm not talking about people as a whole. If I talk about a specific incident that I have experienced with you, Mike, Vic, anybody else in the chat, I may have a different perspective that you may not have based upon your, preview of that situation. So if I talk about it, that doesn't mean I'm mad at Quick Dick, I'm mad at Tommy DTV. I'm just saying that whole situation, I give my perspective. And if you don't like it, if you think that I'm kind of like being combative or talking bad about you, I don't really care. I'm just still going to give you my honest opinion of the situation and how it went down from my perspective.
Yeah, but the thing is like, so when I got there, they made it. We spent a lot of time talking about them, and to be honest with you, bro, I don't even remember
We
even
didn't.
spending much time. And even if we did say spend 20 minutes, it wasn't like, I don't remember it being like a bash session or you know what I'm saying? Like I couldn't even like think about one negative thing that was talked about. I'm sure it was probably said a couple things, but nothing out of the ordinary. Not and that was kind of my him, and it's like, dude, like who gives a shit?
Right.
Like, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like who cares what somebody else, if you have a problem with it, man, maybe it's something you got to work on. But at the end of the day, like I don't care what somebody else says about me or what another opinion of me. It doesn't matter. If it's somebody that I respect and I value their opinion, I'll take it to heart and I'll work on it. But you know,
There you go.
I'm not gonna be worried about what everybody says. I tune it all out, man, and that's what I was trying to get them to understand. But they seem very offended by whatever was said. And again, I don't even remember what it was. I didn't think it was even anything that crazy. But maybe Mike was kind of gaslighting. That was basically my advice to them: is just tune it out if you don't like it.
So here's what I'll say on that. Because I am somebody that does care what people think. And when I say that, it's not that I stay up at night and be like, oh, does Brian like me, or oh man, I hope Mr. P doesn't say anything bad, bad about me. It's not caring like that, but
Right.
I mean, I'm not a sociopath. I mean, I care in general what people think. So, but I look at myself, and if I'm comfortable where I am and what I'm putting out there, then it's like, okay, well now that's on the other person, right? But if there's people are like, oh man, this Vic Ferrari guy, he's this, he's that. It's like, okay, I gotta think of. It's like, it's not like, well, what the fuck you talking shit for, man? I'm gonna pull up on you. It's like, no, wait a minute, maybe I should take a look at myself and what I'm doing and what I'm saying and how I'm presenting myself. Now, once I'm in that comfortable spot with myself, well, then you can think whatever you want, and I learned something a long time ago in meetings, and I know Brian knows, but most people learn it, and I'm not sure Mr. P knows. I'm a recovering alcoholic, and I learned that when you get up in there and you talk about things, right, and people right away after a meeting be like, hey, were you talking about me? Well, if
Yep.
you recognize it, then maybe, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So if we say, so if you say something and somebody's like, oh man, they were talking about me being a loser over there. Well, no, we never mentioned you. Maybe that's your perspective of yourself, and you should take a look
Exactly.
at that. If you think I'm talking about you, there's a good chance that I'm talking about you. And again, if I'm not, but you think I am, what's really important is what you think about you. And if that's what you think, then you should take a look at that. And so that's that's a lesson. I was like that too. I'd sit there and I'd listen to somebody say, "Oh, there's somebody that comes into me, they do this and that," and I tell my sponsor, "Man, I think that motherfucker was talking about me," and I'm like, "Nah, they really weren't." But maybe we should talk about the fact that you think that that's where you're at. So this whole idea of people are talking about me and they're saying this and that. Well, why are they saying it? Why are they saying you're all these things?
Yeah.
Is it because it's true? Is it but the kind of person that'll go on a different panel or have their own panel to then dispute or talk about what you said about them isn't the kind of person that will actually have a discussion with you about it. And that's what I've always said about me. I'm not a hard person to find, man. I'm on Discord. People got my email. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's a way to reach me. If you got an issue, we could talk about it. Not go in another place and say, "Oh, you were talking about me. Why's my name in your mouth?"
Yes, yes, yes.
Motherfucker, you're on YouTube fucking 12 hours a day on 18 panels, man.
Yes.
What the fuck are
Oh,
you talking about? Keep your name, my
get out
name
my
out your
mouth.
mouth. Even, but, well, then fucking hit the X button and go to bed, and nobody will talk
Oh
about
my
you.
God,
You
you're
know?
right. You're so, oh my God, yes. Woo!
Yep.
You hit some good points. Oh, you hit some good points right there, Vic. You hit some good points, man.
But then I
But
also like notice that some people will just attack you just because they just don't like what you're doing. Like in terms of like when I first started coming on the scene and then like trying to build a channel, like some people just didn't like that. It didn't matter what I said. I could say anything. They just didn't like it. So the factor is like, you're gonna have a percentage of people that they're gonna hate you for whatever reason.
Of
Doesn't matter
course.
what you do. Right.
Of course.
So
Look at it.
that's
Well,
where I
those are
get
the
the
well, those are the people that are just looking for those are the people that are just looking for
right,
drama and some shit to talk about because they have nothing else.
right, right.
I mean, I kind of
But there is
just so
there
you
is a
know, when I say you're doing these 20-hour streams and you should go longer and all those things, I'm just messing around with you, bro. I mean, I hope you don't think, oh man, Vic doesn't like me because I do 30-hour streams or whatever. I could care less what people do, but I do find some things funny, and kind of like to play on that.
but
That's
it's
all.
not.
but
But it's not
that's an
malicious. It's not
example.
malicious.
Nah,
You said that, Vic, and I don't even like. I never even like registered it more than once. I was like, oh yeah, I got the joke, and I moved on. Like
yeah, that's
I
it.
didn't think
Yeah,
about
there's
that
nothing.
until you brought it up.
Yeah, right, there's nothing malicious where it's like, oh man, this guy thinks, I'm doing this. What
But
people want to do,
that's my
yeah,
point. That's my point.
yeah.
Is like, no matter like you're gonna get these like, people gonna mess with you, whatever. And sometimes it's lighthearted, sometimes it's malicious, whatever. But like you just got that's my whole thing is like you just got to put some blinders on and just keep pushing forward. And
Just do what you got to do, man.
I like Brian's thing too. It's like you do want to have like listen to the feedback loop because there's going to be like some people that come along the line and they are fans and then they will be honest with you and say, hey man, and then they'll pull you aside or they'll say something.
Yeah,
That to me, those are the people I listen to. That's the stuff I take to heart. It's not the noise,
Right.
so to speak.
right.
You know what I mean? But that's that didn't work with me initially, but like it very quickly figured that out and just now it doesn't matter really what you say to me. It's like I feel like I got a sort of armor on because it's just these things don't bother me anymore, it's very peaceful.
Well, there's a
Well, it's because you're comfortable doing what you're doing,
right.
right?
And there's a
Exactly.
lot of and there's a lot of things on YouTube where people think you have to emulate what they do. If they don't like someone because of what they think and they heard, you are supposed to emulate that same feeling. You
Oh,
can't like them because if you like them, then that means you are a Chomo supporter or you're this or you're a racist supporter. All these types of things. And we kind of had a little bit of a conversation about this on the last thing where you are grouped into association where if you associate with someone, then they think that they don't want to associate with them. You're not supposed to associate with them, and if you do, then you're some kind of outcast, a pariah. I navigate.
So that's
I don't even belong in the community in which I'm at. I was thrusted into this community. I've made friends in this community, and so I kind of made my home here. But I don't talk about you know auditors, frauditors, cop watchers, or any of that nonsense. Our community is kind of, if you haven't really paid attention, it's evolving. It's evolving into topics that people can relate to. People are trying to do either trivia, music, and talk about things that are just important to other people. And that's kind of where I hope that this community starts navigating into. And Mr. P, I think you are one of those ones that are trying to help navigate in that direction. Because you talk about history, you talk about current events, you talk about these types of things that a lot of channels kind of shy away from. I was talking about, the MAGA, Trump, politics, all that kind of stuff at the front when I first started, and I got knocked for it. I kind of took a side, I took a back seat and started doing a little bit other things, lighthearted kind of conversations, things that like parenting, like we're talking about tonight, sports, and all that kind of stuff. You're gonna find your way, but the people who try to push you in a direction that you don't want to go in, they can kiss my ass because I don't really give a fuck about those people who want to say, hey, if we don't like that person, you can't like that person. That's some elementary ass bullshit. I've never played that game.
Right. Well, like give the perfect example right now is Thumper,
Mm-hmm.
right? Clearly, you're saying hi to him. You don't mind him being around. I mean, he almost came up on panel at Ham Bananas. I personally am indifferent. My wife feels a different way about it, whatever. But the point is your reaction. You look at like Vic's reaction to it. Clear that they don't support.
You're roboting a little bit. Hold on, Mike. You're roboting. Hold on, Mike. You're roboting just a little bit. I don't know if you're in an area where you kind of.
Robot.
You're roboting just a little bit.
I'm going through New York right now.
Okay.
Can you hear me still?
No, you sound good now.
Sound good.
Yeah. But the point is that there, Tommy's reaction, Vic's reaction to, being, people saying, oh, you're associating with this guy, whatever. They're definitely afraid of that. And in fairness, they were also targeted pretty bad too by the girls. I think they made a pretty big example out of them. So I understand kind of that it being a sore spot. And for whatever reason, you're not being targeted, Brian. Ham Banana's not being targeted. Yet. But when that time comes, I mean, hopefully, everyone has the same energy about it, which is, it's like I'm just taking them at face value.
So I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this, and I hope Brian doesn't think that I'm, speaking on his behalf, but we've known Thumper a long time, in the community. Brian and I have been doing this for, I don't know, it seems like a couple of years. I mean, a year and a half at least. We've been doing this, and we've known Thumper a long time. So for myself,
we're 24 minutes out.
Okay. For my
24 minutes. Yeah, we heard that. We heard that.
All right, 20. Yeah, 24 and counting. So.
Oh, it's interesting. Usually, StreamYard doesn't work when I flip the page. All right, good to know.
That's cool. So myself, I would like to know, because things have been put out there. People want to say this and that about the guy. Defend him, not defend him, crucify him, anybody that's around him. I have never really heard definitively what the facts are of the situation, and that's what I'd like to know before, making any kind of, judgment on a person. It's not really my place to judge anyway. But as far as what my association with someone would be, I'd like to know what the facts are.
Well, but here's my deal. I don't give a fuck. I don't care about anybody's personal life. But here's the deal. I know for a fact. This is facts. I'm not speculating. Thumper's not touching 5-year-old toddlers and being a chomo.
Right.
Okay? Right. And then we've also heard, and this is kind of like one of those things where, if a woman does it, and I'm going to put it into really big perspective because there's a thing that Margot Robbie just said about her kissing scene or not being able to kiss. What's the guy who plays Ken in Barbie? She said she didn't have a chance to kiss him on screen, but she really wanted to because Ryan Gosling, because he's just so beautiful. And then when she started that movie with Brad Pitt, it wasn't even in the script. She just said, "This is Brad Pitt. I'm gonna just I think it belongs here, so I'm gonna kiss him." It's unscripted. When women do certain things, and there's some people who, I'm not going to say names, but there are people who was like, I was 16 and I dated this 28-year-old who was a woman. These things happen. It
Sorry.
wasn't. It wasn't, to my knowledge. It wasn't like he was, you know, a pee-pee toucher where he was like molesting these little boys, like the guy from the
Right, right.
subway stuff. And at the end of the day, it came from a person we know who lied. He lied about me, says I had 37 felonies and all this other nonsense. And so I don't care about what Thumper did. And he married
Right.
the girl, had children with this girl, and all that kind of stuff. It's none of my fucking business.
Right. Well, the rest of my point of that was in all the times that you and I have known him, and I mean, you know him a little bit better than I do. Up until all this came out, I never saw any indication of him being any kind of a threat, disrespectful with women,
Nope.
or trying to do anything that I considered nefarious or disingenuous. And that's in no way defending whatever happened, because I don't even really know what what happened.
All
But
right.
what I'm saying is I've never seen anything all this time other than he likes to troll multiple accounts and have fun like the rest of us. But I've never seen a time where he's made anybody uncomfortable in that way.
He makes me uncomfortable when he
You know.
drinks vodka all the time because I can't stand it.
Well,
If I
well,
hear the
yeah,
word,
no,
if I
he
hear
was.
the word vodka, I throw up. So,
He gets crazy. He gets crazy. He gets crazy drunk. But I mean, I've never, even crazy drunk like that, I've never heard him be inappropriate or say anything to anybody about their kids. On you know what I mean? I've heard other people that people in this community consider to be upstanding people say things that were more inappropriate than anything he's ever said
Right.
since
mm-hmm.
So,
I've known him. So I can't say what he did in the past. And anybody that's listening to this, I'm not supporting any kind of sexual misconduct with kids. And this whole idea that if you dress that way, you have a. I mean, I'm not endorsing any of that. I have a 26-year-old stepdaughter, and if you said something like that to my face, we'd have a problem because that's not right. But as far as this man is concerned, I don't know what he's done, and I haven't seen any indication in the long time that I've known him of any inappropriateness. That's all I'm saying.
but I still think it's fair to like. I mean, if somebody's a potential sexual predator, I think it's fair
Sure,
to want to understand who you're dealing with, and
absolutely.
I also think it's healthy that if you're convicted in that manner, to if you feel that that's not something, it's okay to say, look, I'm not going to be around that, right? What I learned from the interview or the discussion with him and Anna is that but this was somebody that he spent a lot of time with and eventually had kids with, so it's not like you were saying, it's not something where he's going around and offending little kids or something like that.
He married
So
the
whatever
woman.
happened,
He married the
right?
woman.
Right. So that's
Well,
what I'm saying. So in this case, it's kind of like, obviously, he's getting the rap of being a chomo, but in reality, he just married somebody that was a little bit younger. You know what I'm saying? Now, on the same token, Puffy today went out and admitted that her father, or her baby daddy, excuse me, was 18 and she met him when she was 13.
Yep.
there you go.
Okay, so it's like we're treating it as if it's like one of a bad priest with an altar boy. In
Yeah,
reality,
yeah,
it's just
yeah.
people having relationships at with ages that are appropriate in terms of 23 and 28 is okay, but when they're that young, now you draw that line at 18, and now you're committing a crime. So my point is
Yeah,
that it happens all the time. It's a regular thing, and like Brian's saying, this is not somebody that is like going to schools or doing anything crazy, but he's being
right.
treated as such. So I understand Brian's position, but I think it is healthy to be looking at something like that and understanding who you're
Absolutely.
dealing. You know what I mean? Is that you don't
Yeah.
want to like find out you're dealing with somebody that's a sick person. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this is not Jared from Subway. This is not what we're
Well,
talking about.
we're we're all sick people. So we can start with that.
Fair enough.
We're
I
all
mean,
sick people. And,
my
yeah, I mean,
my
I
my
you
wife
know,
is 5 years younger than me. So if I was 20, she would have been she would have been 15.
yeah,
I mean, I didn't meet her when
Right.
she was 15,
But
but
that wasn't the case,
it's
though,
just,
right?
it's
I
fine.
mean,
Yeah, I'm just
never
saying.
ended.
Listen, and then again, I've made this comment before. From my perspective, what I have heard, the girl was 16 years old and he was 20 something years old. In certain states, including Oklahoma, which
yeah,
Thumper
yeah,
is from, there are certain states that say you can have consensual
yeah.
sex at the age of 16, and that it's not against the law. You can get
And
married, you can have sex,
that's something.
consent.
And look, I don't. I think personally, I think Recruit is a bad person. I don't support him.
Who?
I got to know him, and I found out he was a real pos.
Who?
Oh God, yeah. Rick
But
Crude,
but
yeah,
I don't know
but
that
at
guy.
the
Yeah, I don't
but
know
at
that
the
guy.
do
same
good.
time,
You're fortunate.
yeah, same time, he gets the same rap. Oh, he likes them really young, whatever. Well, he married somebody that was 16 when he was, I think, 21 or something like that, and technically it was legal in that state. So same situation. But he's getting that rap, and I'm not saying like uh, he's got other issues. That's not the real thing. But that's my point. It's like it seems like people are really
Right.
forgetting that there's a legal age of consent, and a
But
lot of times they're in that range.
but see, you're saying she was 16, and then I've heard other people, no, she was 14, and other people, no, she was under 12 when they started.
Uh,
And then they're like everything's sealed and we can't see it, and so people are just drawing all these conclusions that they want to draw. And what I see, and not just with this situation,
yeah.
but it's these imaginary lines of morality that people draw.
Right, right.
Man, I can dox you. I could talk about your wife. I could talk about pulling trains on women. But if you use God's name in vain,
Oh God.
or if you've even talked to a girl under 18, you're a chomo. I mean, that's these imaginary lines that people are drawing. I mean, I mean, and so it's either across the board or it's not. You know what
I've
I
heard
mean?
I've heard people I've heard Dave say the most despicable,
Mm-hmm.
racist bullshit.
Yeah,
Porch
yeah,
monkey, calling black people are
yeah,
no
yeah.
good. They're
Celebrating
they're
slavery.
thieves. They're
Celebrating,
they're they're
celebrating
thieves.
slavery.
They're marry white women who they because they can't get a job and they live off these fat white women and all this other stuff.
Right,
I've
right.
heard these things and I've clipped them all. And people want to get him on panel and say, "Hey, this is how you could do your channel better, Dave." But when it comes to Thumper and they don't have a clue about what they're really talking about, they want to sit there and go, "Oh, did you have this conversation in the back channels about this and do all that kind of stuff?" Listen, listen. Everybody, and I'm not calling anybody out. Everybody is entitled to their opinions, their perspectives in life about people, including me. It's fine. You can have your perspective, but don't try to force your perspective on other people. You can sit there and say, I have this opinion, Mike has this opinion, Vic has this opinion, and we are just going to agree to disagree, but we can all, at the end of the day, still be friends when we're done with this live stream.
No, no,
No,
no, no, no, no. But if you talk to that person, then you're as bad as they are.
oh my God, that's just so stupid.
Now, now I'll be honest though. I don't agree. Even if there's a legal age that you can marry, I don't agree with somebody who's in their 20s, dating or being intimate with somebody that's 16 years old. I still think that's you're still dealing with somebody that's only been on the planet for 16 years, but probably been mature for maybe two. I mean,
I don't agree with it
I
either.
still don't. Yeah,
I
I think
don't.
it's actually pretty.
Listen, I don't agree with it. I'm with you. I'm with you. I don't agree with that either. Just to put it out there. I'm not saying that I would condone it. I'm just saying I don't consider it though as being what people are labeling as being a choke.
Right. No,
In
and
my
I'm with
mind,
you
in
on
my
Right,
mind, I
right.
just don't.
I'm with you 100%. We're about 10 minutes.
Oh, good. 10 minutes works for me. I don't know about
10,
Brian.
10 minutes works for me too, Mike. 10 minutes. I don't know. Look, Thumper showed up and we kind of just got derailed and
Yeah,
started talking about
we
this
kind
stuff.
of got sidetracked over to that,
But
but
but but here's what I'm going to say about just YouTube. You kind of have to. And I've had other channels that I've gone and I follow this one guy who's got 100,000 subscribers, and I think they are all are bought. Most of them are all are bought. And he talks about people who, when he makes these things and he's walking in an elevator or he's eating food, people are like, dude, why are you doing that? He calls them haters. And I'm like, listen, people who are like having an opinion about the content that you produce, they're not haters. They're just opinionated. And it's okay to have an opinion about the content that you put out there for public consumption. People call me boring. People call me preachy. People call me a lot of these things. I take that as constructive criticism, and I try to make it seem as if I'm not really trying to be preachy, even though I know, I get it, I am. I do talk a lot, and there are a lot of times I like to hear I like to hear the sound of my own voice a lot. But I'm not trying to make that as the paramount to every live stream or every video that I put out there. People have to understand that when you put yourself in a public forum, imagine what actors have to go through with people who watch their films and they don't like their acting, and people who put out music, people who are in the public eye a lot more than YouTube. People take YouTube seriously. And I always say this, and I heard Quick Vic say this. Yeah, I think either Tommy D or somebody replayed it. He said he made $1,000 in one night. $1,000 on one night
Yeah.
on YouTube. And listen, everybody knows you can go to that one site where you can go and check people's yearly, monthly YouTube revenue. Thanks to Dr. Dave, by the way. Quick Vic ain't making
Social Blade.
Social Blade. Quick Vic ain't making $1,000 on YouTube.
I
Not
mean,
even close.
I don't know if he was saying he made it revenue-wise. Maybe it was cash out. I don't know. I'm just,
He
I'll
didn't
be
make.
honest with you.
You ain't making $1,000 in a night, even if you're my friend, who I will tell you is my friend. Even if you are, oh shit, I lost the name. Fucking name, so I'll tip my tongue. Shit. Oh, I forgot the guy's name. I was going to tell you the name. Even if you are Team Skeptic, I don't know if Team Skeptic, what he's big. I mean, I love this guy. I don't know if he makes $1,000 in one night. It might be close, but and with all the super chats and all that kind of stuff. But even the super chats, they go through that channel where you can actually see what YouTube is counting as your revenue.
Oh, Social Blade you're talking about.
Social Blade,
yeah.
Social Blade. If you got to see all that stuff through Social Blade, if people are giving you money through your Cash App and you make $1,000, good for you, Vic. Good for you. Not hating. But I doubt it. That's skeptical.
Yeah.
If you say that kind of shit, that's skeptical bullshit. Nobody's gonna make $1,000 tonight.
But not only that, and again, I don't have any issue with Vic, but like you,
I
if
don't
I
either.
made $1,000 in a night, I wouldn't be telling people. I wouldn't.
Yeah,
Because
I wouldn't either.
like, why am I gonna rub that in somebody's face that's not making $1,000 that night? You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna tell my wife, and we're gonna be like, hey, let's go out to dinner. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not gonna be announcing it on on a live.
So I made $8 on my OnlyFans, but I think it was just because people felt sorry for me.
You know, flexing how much money you make on YouTube. Flexing how much money you make on YouTube is equivalent to saying that you are rich in Monopoly.
Yeah, stop it, man. It's like chasing YouTube clout.
It makes no sense.
What does that mean? What does that
I
even
don't
mean?
know.
Man, I'm gonna go over to late night Mr. P's, man, and chase some YouTube clout.
Mm.
What the hell does that mean? There's no
I,
YouTube
I
clout.
made I made $1,000 last night, Ladybug. I made $1,000, Ladybug.
No, man. If you're Mr. Beast, you're PewDiePie, you're I mean, even some of the people that we know, like what's the guy? Long Island, right? He's got, I don't know, 500,000 people. All right, that maybe there's some YouTube clout there. You're getting the 500,000
Oh yeah,
range.
absolutely,
But
absolutely.
but anybody here that's talking about what? I mean, I don't know. What's the most? 5,000 maybe somebody has that's within the community right now that we're dealing with. I'm not even
Yeah, I
sure if
think
that.
5,000 on the high side. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, come on, and you're getting all. You're talking about me for YouTube clout. Come on.
Yeah.
Let me be the first. Let me be the first to say this. I believe that
Get out of
networking,
here. Get out of here.
networking. I don't mind networking. If you think that you can come over here and get views because we're drinks and discussions and we got three whatever viewers, or subscribers, come over,
Yeah.
come over, get as many views. I want everybody. I want everybody to be clear. I want everybody to be successful in whatever endeavors that they pursue. It's YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. I want you to, if I can help you, let me know. I will help you. It's not a competition to me at all. I want people to come over and have a good time. I want to go over there and have a good time. It's not about, oh, Brian's coming over here because he's just clout chasing. That's stupid. I just can't get my head around
But that's what I was talking about. That's like that hating stuff. It's like like you're a bad guy because somebody has 200 people in a live and you want to get go on a panel and have people exposed to your channel and your content. Like, why is that a bad thing?
It's not. The only the only
Not.
the only thing that I think is a little nefarious is if you go into somebody's live and say you're going live at
it. All
the same
right.
time.
And I
I,
personally hate that. I hate that.
I'm not down with that. Where like if somebody jumped in here and they were like, or you were like, and you were just like, hey guys, I'm gonna jump off right now, but I'm going live in 30 minutes. I mean that's
Hmm.
not or somebody puts in their thing, hey quick fix live guys.
Let's go
That's
over there.
that's
Yeah, I
yeah
don't like
that's
that.
that's nefarious.
No,
Other than
there's
that, you
forum.
know,
There's a way that you act in that situation, and a lot of times, especially if you have somebody that you're dealing with that's a real true leader, a good channel owner, he's going to give you that opportunity. At some point, he's gonna, hey, what's going on? Tell people about your. I mean, when people come on and they got a channel like Paul or anybody that comes up that's like trying to get their name out there, I already know in a lot of cases that they might want to have a good conversation, but they're also there because they want to continue networking. So I'm gonna literally put them on the stage. Say, hey, tell us about your channel. Put the link in the description. I'll do that. But if you come in there and then you're just like dropping links in there and you're being disrespectful about it, I'll literally like
yeah,
time you out and hide you.
yeah, right, yeah,
Well, let
yeah.
me.
Don't promote Paul for God's sakes.
Oh my God, that guy! Please don't promote Paul. And
But then
if you
that
didn't
same
know,
thing,
there's a lot of sarcasm in that whole statement. Please, we love Paul.
you're
Don't
having a
clip
good
it. Don't clip it and say we don't like Paul
Yeah, right.
because he is sensitive.
but like you're
Bean
having a good
too. Bean too. Fuck that
Uh,
guy.
I don't know. Veem goes around just trashing my name everywhere.
Everywhere he goes.
Has he been over at yours, Mr. P, trashing me?
wait, what?
No, we're
Veen
kidding.
Veen been over at your place trashing me in the chat?
I have no idea.
Okay, what if he do? Uh-oh. You just came
Oh, here's
on.
the ball. Here goes the ball. Here goes the
Oh
ball.
no! Oh
This Paul?
Oh, it's the ball.
I
Oh,
heard every
no!
word.
Oh shit! The whole stream is going
Oh,
down. It's going downhill
I was
now.
keeping,
jeez.
I was keeping
Anyway,
very quiet.
it's getting late over here on the West Coast, man. I'm gonna have to be like heading out. I think. Would you say, Mr. P, 10 minutes? 10 minutes? 10.
yeah. Matter of fact, it's about time to cut it. Actually.
Hey Paul.
Yeah, I think. I
Hey
think so.
Paul.
Let's all head over to Mr. P's, man. Leave Paul over here.
Yeah.
Hey
Everybody
Paul.
fuck off when I come in. Yeah, how it goes.
Hey, what's going on, Paul? Good to see you, buddy.
What's up, Paul? I
Good
was
to
just
you.
telling Mr. P like how much I love you, and I think your channel should be promoted everywhere. I don't know if you heard that.
Do you know I used to work on a farming village?
and I've never smelt more bull.
Bullshit. Twilight.
Yeah.
But let me just say this real quick. This is completely honest. I'm being completely 100% serious. Hebrew is trying to do things for his channel, and I think he is a genuine guy. If you've never met Hebrew, he is a military veteran. He has gotten some struggles with some addiction in his past, and he's trying to start a movie night on Friday nights where he's going to go on his channel. And Thursdays, he's going to ask people to kind of vote on a movie to watch and then watch it on Friday night, I believe. So please, I told him I would do everything I possibly can to send people on the channel. If you know who Hebrew is, please subscribe. Join him on his
Yeah.
Discord, and please support Hebrew. I told him that I would do all I can to support him, and I keep my word when it comes to that stuff of things. So please give him a shout out, and please give him a chance to watch a movie with him. He's a great guy. I like the guy. Yes.
Yeah, I saw he was in chat earlier. I was gonna suggest that he come up on panel because I've never had an opportunity to talk to Hebrew, but I would like to. I would like to.
Yeah,
I
Hebrew.
would say don't, because the way you get insulted when people don't think you're here.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. It's that I wanted Hebrew and I got Paul. You know, I mean, it's like
Hebrew light. You got Hebrew light. Hebrew light.
It's like waiting. Yeah, it's like waiting for Christmas and you get Memorial Day. It's like this.
If you need some more help to pay your pool boy, do you?
Should we have the kickoff and say somebody donate? Well, I'm not monetized anymore, so can't kick him off now. Damn, we stuck with him.
Yeah, somebody hit my Cash App. I got some issues going on. I don't want to really talk about it publicly, but I could use the help.
And by the way, Liz
Okay,
Liz is here. Flecky Jake's here in the chat. You have to explain to Kristen that Nightbot is a bitch to deal with over here. So Kristen, I'm sorry. Liz created Nightbot. Liz owns Nightbot. And if anybody's offended by Nightbot, please spam the hell out of Flecky Jake. I'm serious. Keep talking to Liz about Flecky Nightbot. Why is everybody quiet? Why is everybody quiet?
don't know. I've sucked all the fun out of this, haven't I?
I was waiting for Paul to say something.
Oh, okay.
Well, yeah, but I don't know why I'm important. Am I like Brian? Have you ever seen Life of Brian? Am I like Brian here?
Oh, is that like the Monty Python movie again?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know Brian's
Yeah,
song. Brian's song is a great movie. Speaking of
Brian Song is a
movies,
great movie. Great.
it's a great. Yeah, if you guys aren't familiar with that, I would suggest checking that out.
And you're gonna cry.
And so is Shaving Ryan's Privates too. I haven't seen that yet.
I'll play that tomorrow when you wake up.
Yeah, play it for Liz. See if Liz will enjoy that. It's a new World War II documentary.
Yeah. It's a Marvel movie, I think, right?
It's a Marvel movie.
Actually, I have seen a parody of the Marvel movie.
Oh no!
Oh, was it on Netflix or something? It was.
No.
It was not on Netflix.
No.
It was on Pornhub. It was on Pornhub. That's for sure. I guarantee you.
No. Okay, fine. Yeah. All right.
It did have in it. This is no joking. You remember that WWE wrestler, China?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, she was in it.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
She would be. Yeah. She had the body for it.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. She done before she passed away. She done porn, then she went into teaching in Japan. I just know these things. Is little tidbits when you're a single guy and very, very lonely with plenty of beer.
But all seriousness, there is a Marvel knockoff, and I forget what it's called, but it's a real like gory kind of funny TV series. I forget the name of it, man, but it's like they have like this lady Stormfront who's like an ex-Nazi, and they have like this like Captain America version where the guy like wears like a thing to bolster his genitals to make it look big, and he puts like fake muscles under his like it actually is fucking hilarious, and it is definitely a
Is it starring Mike? Does it star Mike Cerrone?
dude, like it might as well, but dude,
Sorry.
I forget the name of it. I'll put, dude. It's like one of those crazy shows, man, where you're just like you're watching it, and then somebody gets their head blown off. You're like, holy shit, what the hell is happening here? Like you can't get comfortable watching this show, dude. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, I'm not comfortable just hearing about it, so I can imagine
Dude,
if I actually watch
it's crazy, but it's
It sounds like a hand banana live.
Yeah.
Like you just like you're kind of enjoying it, but don't get too comfortable.
There is a worse movie than that.
Oh no.
This is a movie called. This is not anything porn. This is just a really bad movie. It's called Iron Sky 2. Have you ever heard of it?
Mhm.
They've got Hitler riding a Tyrannosaurus Rex on the moon.
That's called what?
Wait, what?
Iron Sky 2. Yeah.
You say Hitler's riding a Tyrannosaurus Rex on the moon?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, so it's a biblical reference then, because that's in the Bible.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there isn't there.
Brian's like, oh no, oh no, Vic, don't do this.
But there is a thing called Iron Sky 2. And it's got Hitler riding a Tyrannosaurus Rex. And he's like,
I remember going to the Bible quite a few times.
Old Testament. It's Old Testament. You gotta skim past it. You gotta really look for it.
The Old Testament is what Liz throws at me and hits me in the head. The Old Testament. That's the stuff you throw away. You don't believe in the Old Testament. You just throw that right there.
Well, they got Hitler riding a Tyrannosaurus Rex on the moon. Why would you listen to that?
Listen. So let me. This is way off topic what we were talking about. But I will tell you this though. Has anybody ever seen the movie Caligula?
Who?
Caligula. The movie.
No.
Caligula? I can't even hear you saying.
Caligula.
Caligula.
Okay, so I never had seen it, but I had saw something that came up that says there are movies where sexual intercourse actually happened on the set that were not, it wasn't a porn. If you didn't know, Helen Mirren, the person who's in all the movies that you see today, she was in Shazam, she was in Fast and Furious, she's been in a lot of movies. She was a young person and super hot. She was in Caligula. And I'm talking about some nudity in that movie. There was some nudity in that movie, and I didn't see that until I was like in my 40s. I was like, wow, back in the day, that was in the 70s. That was fucking raunchy.
Who's that women comedian in America? I can't remember.
There's a lot of them. There's a lot of women comedians in America, Paul.
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah. She's blonde hair. She's been on SNL. It's not Amy Poehler.
Kristen Wiig? Kristen Wiig?
No. She's
Amy Poehler?
No, it's not Amy Poehler. It's she's a bit thick.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. I don't think she was on SNL. I think she was.
She's been on SNL as a host.
As a host, yeah.
Yeah.
The hell's her name?
Shit. She just had a
Amy
baby.
Schumer.
Amy Schumer.
That's it. Amy Schumer. There is a thing, I don't know how true it is, that she supposedly had sex with John Cena in one of the movies to make it look real.
Really? I didn't hear that.
I think
Yeah,
John.
I'm pretty
That's
sure.
Hey,
intoxicated.
Liz.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes,
Oh,
loud and clear.
No, we can't hear you. No.
wait.
I can't hear you.
Oh yeah, here's trouble.
Did Liz come over here just to prove to Mike Cerrone that Flaky Jake is not Brian?
I missed. You cut out on a whole bunch of that, dude. I didn't hear it.
That's
Yo, that
that sucks.
You mentioned her name 3 times and she's like the Candy Man.
Oh, don't say that. I'm still scared of the Candy Man.
I say we go back to talking sports.
yeah.
I just came up here to thump every one of you over the head with a Bible.
Oh,
Yeah.
the Old
I
Testament,
said
of course.
it was Old Testament. I'm telling you.
Old Testament Wrath of God.
Yeah, my Bible has both testaments, Vic. That's
Whoa.
not something
I still have both of my testaments too. I'm just saying.
Yeah. So same here. I've got them. They're still pretty
I
there.
still
They're
have.
not ripped out just yet.
I still have both of my testaments. Oh.
Oh, for God's
By the way,
sake.
Brian, there's been several movies like that you're talking about. One of them was with Halle Berry and
Yes.
the guy that played in Sling Blade.
Yes.
Angelina Jolie.
Right.
That
Billy Bob Thornton.
Exactly.
Monsters Ball.
It was a Monster Ball. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That supposedly involved real.
Real sex.
Yes. Yes.
If you go to my OnlyFans, you can see the real stuff too.
Hey, speaking of Sling Blade, that's a great movie as well.
Wait, nobody wants to go to my OnlyFans? What the hell, Vic? You just skate it over my OnlyFans.
Yeah, he keeps talking about OnlyFans. I don't even want to know.
Oh my God, I'm just kidding. I don't have an OnlyFans, but I don't even not know what OnlyFans
You'd
is.
love OnlyFans. I'm pretty sure there's some Christians on OnlyFans who willing
Yeah,
to
there's a whole Christian section of OnlyFans.
Yeah.
They donated they donated $6 of the $8 I made. Very generous people.
Yeah, there's plenty of good openings on OnlyFans.
Oh my God.
I think I gotta turn Liz up a little
Where
bit.
do you think the Catholic Church and the Latter-day Saints get all their money from?
OnlyFans?
From their people, for Pete's sake. So I don't know why you could say that. They're bad donors. They're not.
Wait, what?
Donors? What the hell? What donors?
I thought I heard Vic say something about how badly Christians donated, but
I did not say that. No, I said that the Christians donated $6 of the $8 that I made on OnlyFans.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay,
Yeah.
I thought you were casting aspersions.
Absolutely not. The whole $8 was because the people felt sorry for me.
Well, then they probably were good Christians. Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, you know why choir boys
Did I hear
always
that
got
correctly? You said Christian OnlyFans? Was that? Did he actually say that?
Yeah. No, I said there's a whole section of OnlyFans that are dedicated to Christians.
Oh. You're pulling my leg, right?
No, it's true.
Well,
if it's on the internet, it has to be true.
Hey man, pulling legs is extra. That's extra.
Yeah, but
There's definitely pulling something.
You love to do that to me. You know you do. Admit it.
Was that the third leg you're pulling, or is it the two? I'm asking.
Oh,
for free.
wow.
I'm just asking.
Oh,
Just asking.
Yeah, last time I looked, I didn't have a third anything, guys.
Never mind,
Oh
Liz.
man.
Never mind, Liz. Never mind. As I have
Hey,
to,
hey,
after I have to
hey,
adjust my
Brian.
third
Hey,
leg. Let me adjust my
Thank you.
third leg right now. Let me just adjust it right
hey,
now.
Brian. Remember
Yes.
that? Remember that time you had that live, and you and I talked about youth sports and all that.
No, I don't remember that.
Yeah.
We need to
That
talk
was a
about it again. We really need to
that was a good
revisit
time.
that. We
It
have to
was. It
talk
was a good
about the
time.
youth
That
sports.
was a good live, man. Yeah.
Yeah, you're trying to get rid of me. I know. I knew you would.
No, we're not. No, we're not.
Then then Paul came on.
Yeah.
And
And
Us,
Paul.
there's a
Gil.
movie you should. There's a good documentary you should watch. It's called Shaving Ryan's Privates.
Take a what?
It's
It's a
called
good
what?
Shaving
Oh,
Ryan's Privates. It's a good World War II
oh
documentary.
yes. Oh, I'm gonna put.
Shut
Hey, Liz. Tomorrow morning when you wake up, we're gonna watch Shaving Ryan's Privates on Discord. It's a
You
good
know,
documentary. Good documentary.
I did not hear half of that. You keep cutting out.
Well, just watch it tomorrow. Just hey, movie night, movie not movie night, but movie tomorrow. Shaving Ryan's Privates. We're gonna watch it tomorrow on Discord.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Starring,
I'll be
starring,
sure.
starring Mike, Mr. P. Starring Mr. P.
Mr.
Well, if
PP,
it's
you mean?
got Mr. P,
Mr.
I'd
P.
support it.
Oh,
Do you know
okay.
why choir boys always have their hair in partings, don't you? So the priest can go, go there, my son.
Oh Lord.
Oh my gosh, Paul.
Yeah, and he's just
Um,
it's incredibly dirty, but he just drops it like nothing, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called being British, mate. We're used to it.
Yeah,
yeah, you're
Bill.
We
used to
don't
it.
care. Yeah.
Christ,
Yeah.
this traffic is obnoxious.
But
Let's
it's
Well,
talk
I'm here.
about
As
let's talk
somebody
about
said,
solar
because the
panels,
rules,
guys.
You want to
everybody
talk
was
about solar?
insulting me, so I'm here to fuck shit up.
What?
hey, I'm gonna say what Paul says on this channel. Paul, we do not allow all that drama on this channel. So I will have to mute you if you keep going with that drama, that
Yeah.
naughty nonsense. Naughty.
I'm
Naughty.
not bringing drama. I'm bringing love and light,
You bring
and
it
that's what it's all about.
Love and light. Oh my god.
I feel you're abusing the only and this is a racist thing. You're being racist towards me, and I'm going to call on YouTube.
Let's bring in love and
Well,
light.
hey, listen, Paul's the only one. Look, you're a man with a pink avatar, so I'm sorry. I'm a little biased when it comes to men wearing pink. I'm sorry. That's just wrong.
Well,
That's just wrong.
you know,
Wrong.
yeah,
You can't
you
wear.
know
You
the
can't
old
have a pink
saying.
avatar. You
Yeah.
can't have a pink shirt. You can't have a pink shirt. You can't
Oh
have a pink
God.
avatar.
Well, any port in a storm, mate. Any port in a storm.
By the way, I am so pleased to see Paul on
Now,
panel with. I'm glad to see
Yeah,
Paul
yeah,
having
I'm
a
gonna
good
have to
time.
agree.
I'm just gonna say, I'm glad to have Paul here being jovial with us and having a good time because I have missed this guy more than you guys
Hell
in the
yeah.
chat probably even know.
Yeah.
I'm so happy to see him and you're in great spirits. I have missed you, my man. Yeah, missed you.
thank you.
Yeah.
Well, I'm trying to keep off. I mean, I'll be keeping off this evening because I will be drunk this evening for
You-
personal reasons.
As much
Well,
as
So,
I'm gonna have to.
cheers,
In
my
all
friend.
seriousness, I'm gonna have to back up Brian 100%, man. It is wonderful to see Paul here.
Mhm.
thank you, thank you.
As much as I hate him, I mean, I love human beings and hate to see them suffer. So it's wonderful to see you, Paul.
Thank you very much, Evic. It's a pleasure to be on here. I'll take that as a backhanded compliment.
Yeah. Now and I have
And
to say, so I
It's
don't look bad.
it's backhanded, and you'll love it, Paul, and you know
yeah,
it.
and all I have to say is we're the fuckers that burnt down the White House.
Oh,
Rule Britannia.
Burnt down what?
never mind. Don't say it again. Don't say it.
Burnt down something about the White House.
White
What
House
the
Down.
heck?
White House Down. Do you not see that movie?
Oh
I'm just
yes,
kidding.
I've seen that
You
movie.
don't know
I'm
why,
just kidding. I'm
Chris, you
kidding.
don't know why the White House is called why reasons why the White House was painted white.
It was
No, I
burned.
actually.
It was burned in like 1800 and something. It wasn't. It was burned like.
Yeah,
We
there was a
burnt it in
fire.
18, we burnt it in 1812 after the sacking of
Yeah.
Washington.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it was the British that did that. Really, I did not
Rule
remember
Britannia.
that.
Yeah, we're the only country in the world to have sacked Washington.
Wow.
Well, yeah, you nasty little twerps.
Yep,
Nasty
Rule
little
Britannia.
twerps.
Get it up, yeah. Or every American, yeah. Picking on me, the only Brit. I'll come back with you.
Terrible people, man. You're just terrible people.
You
Terrible.
guys
I
really
know.
hold it
Terrible.
grudge, don't you?
They're terrible. Like Charles Barkley
Well,
said, terrible.
if
Terrible.
Bean was here, I'd be having to go in
Terrible.
for bombing my pub in 1940, even though I wasn't alive.
Yeah,
I'm
where
gonna
the hell is
listen.
Bean,
Hold
man?
on.
I'm tired of all the trash that guy's talking about me, man. Bring him up here.
No, listen. And people in the chat. I'm just gonna let you guys know. I really, 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 really let my hair down. When I'm at Ham Bananas. Everybody knows when I go to Ham Bananas, we have a good time.
No.
But we also have a really, really, really good time on Discord, on Drinks and Discussions Discord, with Paul, Big, Mike, Mr. P, Liz, and everybody else that comes on Discord. The stuff that we're talking about right now, if you think that we just have this camaraderie with each other, this is what we do on our Discord. So if you don't know why we're giving each other a hard time, it's because we love each other and we love kind of just having this camaraderie. It lifts our spirits. And at the end of the day, even if we talk about stuff that's kind of like heavy and weight, even when we're talking about this on the live stream, at the end of this live stream, we always want to leave you guys light in heart and saying, man, these guys really have a good time. They really like each other. We don't always agree again, but we still just have a good time. And Paul is an integral part of what we do on our Discord channel. And then, like when I said that I missed him and Vic emulated that, Liz probably emulated that. I appreciate people who just can say, I don't care if Brian agrees with me on everything, but I really just appreciate the fact that he is authentically himself. Vic is authentically himself. Liz authentically. Paul, everybody. It's not. We're not making excuses for things that we say. We're just gonna say it, but we're not trying to be rude, mean, and say that we're just holier than thou. We just want to make sure that people understand this is who we are.
I do have to say, Brian, you know
Don't
when you
say
said
it.
you let your hair down? Hair.
Well, listen. I am not Mike, but I do have my hair shaved close. I have done several live streams with my hat off, and I will do another live stream with my hat off. I just think that I'm just an okay looking dude. Hat on, hat off. I'm okay.
Your voice gets higher. You notice when somebody's caught Brian on something out, his voice is getting higher.
Oh, it does not. It does
Yes, it
not.
does.
Does it?
Yes, it
Yes,
does.
it does. It does.
Yes, it does.
From the only guy that's on video right now, I think I have to defend myself because hey, I'm okay. I think I'm okay with the way I look. I don't care if I have a pink shirt on. Talk about manscaping. I am going to be on video if I possibly can.
Well,
All the time.
You come back at me when you're being racist towards me. I'll find things about you to talk about. I have defended myself.
Okay, Chubby.
Personally,
All right,
I'm
Chubby.
just happy that Brian found a shirt that fit this time. Because looking at him at that sweaty medium last time, man, was a little weird.
Schmedium. He's a schmedium.
It was a sweaty schmedium, man. We get it, bro. You work out, man. We all get it.
Yeah, Vic, most men will go into the adult section. Brian will go into the kiddie section just to make himself
You guys got anything in an extra large cannon I can squeeze into to impress this guy from England?
All right.
Yeah,
I thought,
what do you guys? What do you guys got in the kids extra large, man? That'll turn on a Brit.
from now on, I'm gonna like have like Peyton Manning jerseys and hoodies on, like Mike Cerrone. From now on, I don't want anybody to see my body. I'm just that
Yeah,
self-conscious. I'm never
yeah,
gonna show.
we're just jealous, man. We're just jealous.
No,
Just have a
look,
floating head as your thing.
nobody. Listen, I don't look. This is. I'm be honest with the people in the chat. There are maybe three, maybe five people that I think that if they ever told me that they were like in real life about that life, about being strong and ready to, there two of those people are on panel right now, Paul and Vic. I'm telling you right now, because we talk about lifting weights and doing all that other stuff. These two guys that are on panel with me right now, I don't know about you, Mike. I don't know what you lift. I don't know. But Vic is bigger than me. Paul is bigger than me. But I try to emulate what Paul is doing because we talked about this. And I try to emulate. I can't match Vic, even in his best day. I'm trying to get there, but there's no way I can get to Vic's strength. Because he was talking about rolling. He was talking about rolling off weights at 300 pounds. Rolling
Yeah.
off 300 pounds. I'm not lifting 300 pounds bench press. Sorry, people. I just not.
Yeah, well, maybe if you get a spotter, you could.
Oh yeah.
Ouch.
There you
Ouch.
go.
Shots
Yeah.
fired. Shots fired.
Yeah.
Shots fired.
Oh
Got it. Shots fired.
wow. Holy
Yeah.
smoke.
I did roll off a 300 pounds, but that's enough about my ex-wife. You know what I mean?
Wow, Liz. Thanks, Liz. Thank you. Appreciate
Sorry,
that.
had to get that in.
But that's why.
Wow, that was man.
But you know what? That's why it means nothing to me when people try to be like these internet tough
No,
guys. It just makes zero sense when people try to do those types of
goofy.
things, and there's no real litmus test to find out how tough you are
Right.
if you're on YouTube.
Yep.
And if you don't know what a litmus test is, I'll explain that to you on another private.
Yeah, I agree.
I sat through 2 hours of solar panel sales pitch today, so I'm totally
Yikes.
tough.
Oh.
Yeah.
I could have cut that all out in 2 minutes.
They close your
Sun,
list or what?
solar panel, make energy. Good. There you go. People follow. I used to be salesman. I used to sell double glazing.
Oh, this kid was really good. I'm telling you, he's got me seriously considering it. I still have to do a little research.
I used to go knocking on doors and say, "Would you like some double glazing there?"
Some what?
Double
glazing.
glaze.
What's that?
What?
Yeah, it's it's because it's the window, 2 panes of glass.
Oh yeah. Oh, got you.
Oh,
Okay.
oh.
Okay.
Yeah, I used to go
Okay.
knocking on the doors
Oh.
for that,
Nice.
and I was actually pretty good at it.
Yep. If there's one thing I am not, it's a salesman.
Oh, this kid was great. I only need 6 or 7 solar panels to meet my current electric needs, and it's still they're not cheap. You're still looking at $14,000. So
The upfront cost outweighs the long-term savings. So your energy bill will be maybe like 5 cents or something like that per month.
Well, all I know is the power company up here is set to trying to get a 36% increase through for next year.
What's the tax break?
The tax break, oh shoot, Vic. I'd have to go look at the email, but
25%.
It
should be pretty healthy.
25%. It's like 25%.
Yeah, it is pretty healthy. It came out to like $6,000 for me.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So really, you're only so
savings, or is that before?
Yeah.
I think that's after tax.
It's a tax credit from
Oh,
the
tax
feds.
credit. Yeah, but when
Yeah.
they show you the numbers, they're factoring in that tax credit to make the number look as low as
Yes,
possible.
they are. They are because it would have been 20,000 without
Oh,
the
so that's already factoring in the tax
Yeah.
credit.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
yes, that's
Absolutely.
14. But the other thing they're offering is they will pay your electric bill for the first 18 months.
Which means they're
So
So
profit on
let
it.
me can I ask you I'll ask you a personal question. How much is
Right.
your I mean, say on average, how much is your electric bill?
It's electric and gas.
Yeah, I get
So
it.
it's usually 90 to 100 a month, and that's because since I retired, I'm usually running either the central air or
Hold
the
on,
furnace.
wait, your gas and electric bill is only $100 a month.
Lucky.
Well, yeah. I don't have a pool man and a 3,000 plus square foot house, guys. I got a
I,
little 1,500 square foot bungalow.
I
Wait,
got
so
a
you
think
look
I,
he's
at
been on
I got a
his
300
mine
I got a
on your
300 I got a 300 electric bill sitting on my desk right now.
Damn. Hey, Mr. P, I'm gonna give you a piece of advice. Never tell these guys anything about your personal life, man. They'll just shot you with it. Jesus,
Oh,
man.
Hey,
I think
Vic,
his panels.
Vic rich. Vic is rich, y'all. Vic is rich out there in
Yeah,
suburbia.
yeah,
I think this
yeah.
panel
Hey,
has been
hey,
weighted
hey,
towards the Brit because we don't have much sun here,
hey,
and it's all about
I got
solar panels.
I got
Paul,
money when I can donate $1,000 a night to Quick Vic. I mean, that's
Oh
how you know.
shit!
That's how you know
Oh
I got
shit!
it.
oh,
Shit! You did. You said that.
Paul,
Yeah,
I
Liz.
Paul,
hold
my
on, Liz. Hold on, Liz. I gotta go on mute. But continue, Liz. I'm going on mute though. On mute.
okay. Well, thank you for that service announcement, my dear. Um,
Gotta go wash my
so
hands.
Paul,
Yeah, wash
I
your
thought you
hands.
were muted.
So, let me. So my question though is, if your electric bill is only $100 a month, then how is putting in solar panels that much of a benefit to you?
well, that's what I
Well,
was going to ask.
that's one of my questions that I'm asking myself. But it supposedly increases your resale value on your home,
All right, don't factor that.
um,
Factor that in.
5% or more
Yeah.
up
Yeah.
Okay.
up here where I live. And that's not a
So,
huge amount, but it's it's something.
what I want to
Um,
know is, are you leasing it,
No.
or are you financing it, or are you just going to pay it cash outright?
yeah, I got to talk to my financial advisor about that. I probably will. I'm already approved for the financing. They did that before they walked away. So it's a low interest rate. It's at just a little over 3%. And it's on a 25 year. So, I don't want to
Wait.
spend 25 years paying it off.
Wait. So you're gonna wait a minute. So you're gonna finance it at 3% for 25 years?
I just got through saying I don't really want to do that. So I got to talk to my financial advisor.
I
And
would look at the lease, Liz.
The
the
heck?
lease, what
Yeah.
lease?
Because instead of financing it and take, I don't know if if you're gonna sell your house or what you're gonna do, but with the lease, you're essentially just your roof is your power company as opposed to financing it. So like they're gonna basically give you an electric rate that'll be locked in for however many years or whatever.
Right.
You're
Right.
buying the electric from your roof as opposed to the electric company. And then there's not really anything that you to do in terms of like financing or taking on any debt or anything like that. I think it's a better thing to do with solar panels personally, unless you just got 14K laying around and you don't give a shit, and it's like whatever, throw them on. But
Right.
Well, and that's the thing. I can afford to pay it off, but
Hey, so let's say okay, hold on. So let's say you pay 14,000 cash. They put it in. What's your electric bill going to be per month?
10 cents.
it should average out to being like just for the connection fee if they did it right. I mean, there's going to be some months that are going to be there's going to be an electric bill because it's not producing a lot of electricity, but it'll zero out in most cases because she should be getting credits in the summer that'll take
exactly,
um
exactly. That's how it works.
Oh shit!
Okay.
I found Mike's piece passion. I found his passion. Mike, look, dude. Hold on, Mike. Hold on a second. I'm being honest here. Mike, you sound like you know what you're talking about there, dude. I kind of was like,
But
you selling me some fucking panels? I might buy from Mike P. Come on.
Yeah,
but
no,
if you
it's one of my other revenues. But yeah, no,
You sound like you know
but
what you're talking about.
if you're only paying $100 a month, is it going to pay itself off in the amount of time in a reasonable
Vic,
amount of time for you?
Vic, did you not hear me say that Puget Sound Energy wants to push through a 36% increase in price next year?
right.
36%, dude, in
That's not
one year.
it's not going to be your last thing.
So
So
if that was 36% on $100, I'll be $136.
yeah,
I'm
Okay.
just saying the
No,
price of energy is doing nothing but going up, at
no,
least where I live.
I'm just
I
asking.
will
I'm not
have
saying
to
not to
say,
do it.
yeah,
I'm just posing a question. That's all.
I
Yeah,
will have
and
to
that's
say to every American on here, come to Britain and then complain about energy prices.
Uh,
yeah.
really, is it bad there, Paul?
Inflation is really bad everywhere across the globe. It's not an American thing. Inflation is really high everywhere in the world.
Yeah,
So
the
yeah,
Fed's just
I
up
mean,
the rate today, I believe, if I
But
read the
even
news.
at okay, let's say it's $150 a month, right? For 12 months. How many years is it going to take you to get to that 14,000?
At
Well,
least five to 6 years.
yeah, maybe longer than I'll live. But again, the house may end up with my kid, so I need to talk to him about it, and then I need to talk to my
That
financial
green
advisor.
okay,
that green grass you have increases your home value a lot more than those solar panels will.
okay. So
Frightening,
if we're going to
dude.
talk about the price of energy in the UK, the
I
price
got
of
green
energy
grass though.
reportedly from the 1st of October this year, most people will pay about 1,570 more per year for gas and electricity over here.
Starting when?
That's right about what Liz is paying. I mean, that's
Yeah, in October. That is more than 36%.
Well, that's even
oh,
worse then, right? Yeah.
Yep. They've guaranteed, because it was
oh,
already high over here, because we're an island. So the government has limited the typical bill to £2,500.
Per year?
Yep. The landlord who owns these places where I am, used to make quite a bit of money. Now, if everything price is going up, now he makes 4% on every house
oof.
Wow.
he owns.
But what happens when
Wow.
the economy when the interest rates decline and the economy starts taking a turn where everything is like dropping and the cost of um, electricity goes down as well. You actually make money. You actually save. So
Um,
if you're locked into that rate, then that's totally different. But if you have that flexible rate
not
where you
over in
say,
Britain, no,
if
no. Not
if it's
over in Britain.
flexible, you can sit there and go, hey, wait a minute, I'm saving more because gas and electrical rates are going down. I'm saving more a month, right?
No, no, it doesn't. No, not over here. Our companies are all privatized and they all love collecting money, so they'll put up the prices even more.
When is the last time you saw your energy bill go down, though? I haven't seen mine go down,
Well,
you know.
I'm forecasting in the future. So what I'm seeing when I look at the market, I'm seeing there are trends where the economy and inflation is in America. Inflation is going down. It was 9%, now it's 3%, and things are starting to kind of turn. And the economy is making this, transition to where it might
3%?
be
What are
going
you reading?
Yeah, where are you getting 3%?
Yeah, it's not 3%.
inflation. I'm not talking about interest, or I'm not talking about anything. I'm talking about
Oh,
inflation.
that's what
Inflation is now 3%.
Is it really?
Oh, all right. I thought you meant interest.
No,
Okay.
inflation
I didn't
is
know it
at
was that low.
3%. Oh, absolutely it is.
Okay.
Yeah, I
I
think I
look,
read
look.
it
I
was
just tell people. I just tell people I look this way. I know when I don't say things that I don't think I know.
No. I believe you. I'm that it's that low.
That was not to you, Mike P. Hold on. That was not to you. That was to Liz. That was
I have,
Yes.
I have a question. I have a question for Mike. Do you deal in solar?
I'm contracted with. I don't do it like full time. I'll
Okay.
only like if I
Okay.
needs it. But
Okay. No, so my question is, do you think that a backup battery is something prudent to have?
so
generator.
this is what I was going to suggest to Liz is, and I wanted to know if they quoted her with the backup battery yet.
No, they did not. No.
All right. So the where the backup battery comes into play, and it really helps you is if you do have like power outages, or you do have times where basically you could be like extended out of power basically.
Right.
There's two situations. One, if you're going to be putting your electricity back into the grid, you are going to get credits, but you're not getting it one for one. You're only getting like the percentage of the credit. You're not going to get like if you put 1,000 kilowatts in, you're not going to get 1,000 kilowatt credit. You see what I'm saying? You're going to get like
No, I know that.
right.
It also doesn't hold over from year to year. So
Right.
if you don't
So
use up everything, you lose what you don't use at the end of the year.
exactly. So the battery.
Yeah, I asked a lot of questions.
Yeah, so the battery comes into play where when you're going through the period of needing the electric company, you're actually operating off the battery. So you really you get to a point where you're just never using the electric company's electricity, or you're using a very small amount, and then your credits will cover you through it. So that's where the battery makes more sense. It's also if you have an electric car, the batteries it can actually help you.
But
Well,
the battery is fossil fuel, so you're not really being economy or looking at the environment and the ecosystem. So fossil
no,
fuels and those batteries. Ask
power.
Mr. B. Ask Mr. B. Ask Mr. B. It will tell you all about
No,
I
yeah,
didn't
batteries.
think the
in terms
battery
of
was
power
fossil.
consumption.
That was a joke. That was a joke.
Yeah, not in
Oh.
terms of environmental, but in terms of just the ability to save on electricity. But the thing is like a lot of batteries, unfortunately, Vic, they're just overpricing them. They're building way too much profit into the deal. So you're
Right.
losing a lot of the fiscal benefit. Like right now, $14,000 for how many panels? You said 6?
It was 6 or 7, Mike.
That's outrageous. I mean, that's a lot.
That's right.
That's a lot
Listen,
of money.
but no, 6 or 7 panels on her house is not outrageous because I know I will take tomorrow when I go off. I will take pictures. There are houses in my neighborhood. They have like 20 panels on their house.
No, he's talking about. I think he's talking about the amount of money for those amount of panels.
Yeah, but I'm saying, but even the amount of panels means something. If you put 6 or 7, because you have like a 1,500 square foot home, that it takes a lot. I mean that may save you some money, but when you add the additional cost per panel, that also adds into the cost of what you pay up front, right? How many panels you have up front? You have to finance. If it's 14 for 3 or 4, compared to like 20 panels on your house, or 50, or not 50. It's I think I've seen the most I've seen is probably 10 panels on one house.
Hmm.
Okay.
Okay, well, it's going to be directly tied to your usage rates over a year's time averaged out, and the larger the house, the greater usually your energy costs are, because you've got more square footage to heat and cool, right? Because that's what we're talking about.
But not cool. Well, cool because
So-
your air conditioning. Yeah, that's right. Everybody.
Well, if my air conditioner,
Right.
yeah, because my air conditioner is electric. Okay, the unit, it's not
Well,
gas.
what do you keep your air conditioning through the summer? What is your average temperature for air conditioning?
72, 73. I don't take it way down.
way down.
Mr. P, so Mr. P, you think that only in places that experience, let's say, semi to frequent power outages, a backup battery is really necessary.
Well, yeah. So first of all, when you have solar and you lose power, you're still losing power.
Unless you have a backup battery.
Right. Because they
Right.
have to shut down. They have to shut down the power going into the grid because they got to fix the power.
Right.
So
yeah, the way the guy explained it to me today is that if there is a power outage,
You lose power.
then it's got like an automatic trip, so it shuts down entirely.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
The panels themselves don't hold energy.
Usually
No,
won't make.
they do
Right.
not.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Yeah. I'm trying to listen to what your answer was, Mr. P.
Sorry.
Yeah, but the problem is the profit that they're building into these deals is so much that it would be cheaper to just get a friggin' generator at the end of the day, and then you can run it off the generator if you have a lot of power outages, because they're going to give you a battery that's going to be $6,000 or $8,000. That's a stupid expensive battery.
You're right.
So what I was
Hold on, Liz, let him finish. Let him finish.
Okay.
That the average deal without a battery right now has about $7,000 to almost $10,000 in profit built into the deal. In profit,
Really?
yes. So like
Wow.
yours is probably sitting at, I would say, between $3,000 and $7,000, depending on how much they put into it. So it behooves you, Liz, to get a second quote to get people competing over your business, because it's going to bring that cost down dramatically. And you got to get a quote for a lease and look at the finance versus the lease, because you're only looking at financing. They're going to essentially sell you the panels and they're going to make $7,000-8,000 off you, where you could probably chop it down to maybe letting them make $3,000 as opposed to $7,000. You know what I'm saying? So
not if I pay. Well, wait a minute. If I pay cash, they won't get that much because they won't get any interest.
well, no, they don't care about the interest. They're going to pay cash.
That's built into the cost. That's built into the cost.
Listen to what Liz, listen to what he's saying.
No, she's not wrong. They do get a percentage, but majority of that interest is going to the lender. It's not going to them unless they're actually.
You're not letting me speak.
Yeah.
They have total 100% in-house financing.
Oh,
this
yeah.
company. Okay, they're getting all the interest.
Right. Yeah. So never mind.
Okay.
So yeah, we use lenders in most cases. So that's pretty crazy.
Well, this particular company, they have all in-house financing. Because I asked that question too. I'm old, and I'm not totally stupid. I know most of the questions to ask. But again, I want to run this past my CPA. I want to run it past my financial advisor. I want some professional money opinions.
No, I agree with you. That's why I'm telling you should look at the lease option, because it may actually be cheaper just to buy the electricity at a reduced locked-in rate for the rest of the time you're at the house.
Well,
as opposed to taking on the upfront cost.
Mr. P should be like a financial advisor, because I'm actually thinking I should take some financial advice from
him. They didn't even speak about leasing. I didn't think to ask about it, Mr. P. So that was my bad. I didn't even.
They're clearly putting because they have, so they're going to make more money.
Right. But what I'm saying is, what I'm saying about listening to Mr. P is because he's talking about the profit margin that they're making on the panels that they're putting in, and so that you should bring in a second company.
I have. This is the second person I've spoken to. Second company.
Oh, what? Wait, second person, same company?
No, two different companies.
Two different companies. Oh, okay.
Yeah. And the prices were almost the same.
Price is the same. That's weird.
Pretty close.
Do they know they're competing against each other?
I would assume so. I didn't ask. But yeah, the last guy I spoke to was a little less as to what I was given today. This company offered more incentives. There's no money down if you finance, and they pay the bill for 18 months. They've got good warranties, and they also have a referral program. So the first referral you get 1,000, the second you get 1,500, and for the third and on you get 2,000. And the sales kid, he said he would do my referrals with his next sales. And I was like, huh?
What does that mean?
But that means when he sells if I sign up,
yeah,
and get them, his next few at least referrals he'll do in my name, so I get the money.
That's multi-level marketing right there. It is.
Yeah. Is any of the companies named Power?
Named what?
Are any of the companies that you dealt with, is their name Power?
POWER? Power?
POWUR.
Yeah, no, neither one of them.
Okay.
Hold on, let me look at my email real quick, and I can tell you the name of the company. Sun Power Corporation and Blue Raven.
All right, yeah.
Solar.
No, Sun's a good company. I promise you, there's at least probably $7,000 in that deal, minimum.
That they make, you mean? Or
so the reason why I asked you if they knew about each other is because if you tell them that you're going to be like, you have another one that's competing, that's when all of a sudden you'll start seeing the cost drop a little bit. I think Sun Power works off they're working off was it per kilowatt or PPW pricing? It's like price per watt. Whereas
right.
whereas another company, like some other companies, will do a cost of goods model. Cost of goods model means they're not only using in-house panels, they're gonna actually shop around and find the best deal for you. So they're gonna say, okay, we'll use this company for the panels, this company for the inverter, we'll do this company for the financing, and they kind of like, pick and choose. So I think Sun Power is just doing everything in-house. It's just Sun Panels. Everything is under their company. They're producing everything. They're doing everything from top to bottom. So
yeah, I didn't ask who manufactures the panels, but they do their own install. I know that their installation, and then their financing. He claims is 100% in-house.
Yeah, which is why
which is unusual.
Well, it's how they're doing it, giving you an interest rate of 3%. Because right now, if you went and you did outside financing, or like 6 or 7%, it's not 3%. Right. So that's the financing is good. No, I mean, it sounds like it's not a bad deal. I'm not. And by the way, Liz, this isn't like we're not judging you on if you did your job or not. I'm just trying to give you some things to think about when you're going over the pricing, so you don't take advantage of. That's all.
Oh, I appreciate that. I do. I'm usually pretty savvy about those kind of things, but I'm not an expert on solar energy or actually any kind of energy. I spent my career in engineering, so
all of my panels were made in Great Britain because Paul told me they're the best.
He's not.
But I'm in the chat, like I'm talking to Paul. Football. Sir Paul.
I actually did because
Sorry, I'm sorry.
Well, if you need help, whatever, call me. We don't want to bore these guys with solar shit.
I actually did get bored of the solar panels because all I kept thinking was, I remember having solar panel calculators when I was younger.
Yes. Yeah. I remember those.
That's true.
Yeah.
And they had
Well, about
they had that black strip on top, and it was like, oh,
yeah,
you don't need a battery
Yeah.
because the battery is going to be solar powered.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Just didn't
Then I
work in
thought
Wow.
about burning the
Shit.
White House again because of after the racist abuse that
Oh my
Trump had
God,
towards
Paul. Oh my God. I
How is
look,
British
I don't
a
know
race?
who's the admin in the chat because somebody needs to block Paul in the chat. Please, somebody in the chat, block him. He's a troll. Paul Morrison is a troll in the chat.
I want him to explain how
Yeah.
British is a race.
Oh no, we're not talking about that right now. We're
Oh,
not doing it. We're look, Liz. Look, Liz. No, no,
Yeah.
I think
no.
it is.
Yeah,
The
this
dog got
is
terrible
no.
hairs.
Oh
This
my
has turned
God,
All
no.
black.
into a fact thing. I was saying it as a joke.
We get it.
yeah.
We'll have to.
Okay,
Yeah,
then, Paul, at least tell me what RN is that you've launched.
it's the Royal Navy.
Oh, all
Come
two
on,
ships?
Liz. Come on, Liz. You knew that.
Is that all both ships, Paul? The whole Navy?
The Royal Navy. The Royal Navy.
I said
Yeah,
whole.
yeah,
I,
yeah.
I'm I'm
Once I
giving him
launched them,
crap,
yeah,
Brian.
yeah,
Give me break.
Liz, once I've
What?
launched them, once I step foot into America, there's things I'm going to say is I'm going to say I'm here to kick ass and chew bubblegum, and I'm all out of bubblegum, and also I'm here to fuck shit up.
To F who?
Oh no, for fuck's sake.
Paul said, "I'm here to make America great again." That's what Paul says. He said,
Yeah,
"I'm here to make
I
America
love
great
yeah,
again."
I love Trump because he looks like a tangerine and he's got Andy Floss hair.
Sorry.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
he's
Pulling my leg once again.
and he's a hell of a
Oh,
Yep.
It's
Who
the
All
knows?
right,
red.
Who
listen.
knows what he wants? He says he wants to grab it by the pussy, and he does.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah.
old Trump.
He admit
Yep.
that shit. He admit that shit with
Yeah.
100% like certainty. Like I'm a
And,
smoke star.
I do have to apologise. Trump is half British.
He said, I'm
He said
apologizing. I'm half British. You talk British
instead of
too.
grabbing by the pussy, man, where the hell is Veen, man?
Paul has a British accent. I don't know if you guys know that, but Paul has a British accent.
Paul does not have a fucking British accent. Paul has an English accent.
Bullshit, you
Paul
do.
is a
Bullshit, you do. And put a one in the chat if Paul has a British accent. Put a one in the chat.
no. It's an
Everybody's gonna
English
say
accent.
it's a
Oh,
British
sweet.
accent. That is a
Which
British
makes it
accent.
worse because when I was younger, this is true. When I was younger, I used to get told to go home back to Scotland.
Wow.
This is true. So when I moved to Scotland in the 90s,
They told you to go back
told
to
to do an
England.
English.
Get the hell out of here. We don't want you.
Yes, go back to England, you English.
I
I'm confused.
I give up on you boys.
I did not expect to turn.
Where's Lizzie when I need
Oh,
her?
man, that should have prepared for YouTube, man.
This is a true story. When Braveheart came out, my auntie got a pirate copy of it. It was a really good pirate copy of it, but she got a pirate copy of it. So we're all in the house. And remember, this is my blood aunt. She is my mum's sister. So I was watching in the house of them, and suddenly, after the end, after he shouted freedom and got all of his bits chopped up and everywhere, and the Battle of Bannockburn happened, she jumped up and shouted, "You fucking English bastard!" and walked into the kitchen. Now, this is the thing. Walked into the kitchen. She was walking down to the kitchen, and I went by Auntie Lynn, "Your blood," and she goes, "Oh, yeah, sorry, son, I forgot that." And I went, "Oh, okay." She goes, "I was just about to get a knife in the kitchen to knife you."
Oh shit! Oh shit! What? What?
Jesus, Jesus, man.
I went, Oh, that's nice. Thank you.
Oh my God. Violent,
Yeah, it can be.
violent people
I
over
have
there.
no words.
Violent
Wow.
people over across the
Holy
pond.
shit.
Oh yeah, I mean, my aunt is lovely. She was brought. The thing is,
She sounds like a wonderful person.
oh no, she really is. I mean, she really is. She had to do a lot in her life. My her husband, my uncle, at the
Oh,
age of 30s, he took a stroke and he ended up in hospital with strokes. She also had to bring up her own children. She had to look after her own mother, and she had to look after her own older brother. Um, she's had to look after me at some point because I've lived there too with her. Then she's had to look after her great aunt. So she had all these people that dumped her, and she's really, she believed in family. She does really believe in family, and she wouldn't have turned family away. So she's had to do all of this by herself too.
Oh yeah,
You
she
know,
took
she's
Paula in. She's truly a saint, that's for sure. So
oh,
yeah.
shut up, Liz. Yeah, go back in your fucking cave. Want to go at me? No, but seriously,
um,
she's done all this, and
wow.
and she hasn't been with anybody else. She's always remained true to her husband, and even though he's passed away, she's still remained true to him. She's always been looked after her kiddies, and then she's got grandkiddies and all that too. So she has been through the worst of it, but she's all tried to come out with some positive things. So I love her for that. Apart from the stabbing, I don't want to get stabbed by her.
I don't want to get stabbed by anybody.
But yeah,
Or Bible
yeah,
thrown at me by Liz. I don't want to get that either.
yeah,
So I
yeah. I
think
don't want to be racially abused by Americans neither, but it seems to happen.
Well, Paul. Hearing about her story and everything, maybe her stabbing you might, make her feel better. Have you ever thought about that?
I'll send her over to you and said you said bad things about
well,
Scotland, Vic. I'll personally pay for the aircraft, for the flights and all that. I'm sure she'd love to hear your point of view when I said, by the way, he said Scotland shit. Yeah, he was
Yeah,
banging on
I
Scotland.
didn't say that. I never said that.
oh,
There's,
yeah.
Well,
We're going.
yeah.
Brian was trying to convince me of that earlier
No,
backstage,
no,
man. But
no,
I'm like,
don't put it on Brian. Do not put it on Brian. Don't put it on.
oh,
Unless you're talking
Yes,
about
Liz.
Brian in corner Brian. If it's in corner Brian, you can put it on it.
you
Yeah.
can't get
But it's
Brian
not
started.
me. Not Brian.
Okay.
In corner Brian.
Yes. Yep.
All
What are you going
right.
to say, Liz?
I was going to ask you what
oh
percent
fuck.
of the movie Braveheart was historically accurate? Because I
What?
heard
Oh no,
pretty much
stop,
none of it.
stop, Liz. Nope, 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 Liz.
What?
I'm gonna cut you off, Liz, right there. So look, we're 3 hours and 18 minutes into this live stream.
Oh man.
And for people, and listen, we didn't get a lot of views, but I really appreciate the people who are here. Deanna, Mike P,
Deanna's still
Liz,
here?
she's still here.
This
Um,
is a lot.
She
Oh
is.
man.
She's a glutton
eh,
for
all
punishment.
all the
Oh my
all,
lord.
all the people who are here and just kind of watching the nonsense. I just want to say I appreciate you because we even Vic was like, Brian, there are other channels that are going to go live tonight. So if you want views and all that kind of stuff, it's not about that for us. It's not about that for me. But I want to tell you, I want to tell everybody about this. And Mike is included in my comment. This is what we do on a regular when we're not live. We talk like this on our Discord channels when nobody's watching. This is why I like these people on Drinks and Discussions live streams. Because we start somewhere, we have a really good conversation, and then when it matures and moves on to other topics, we just go with the flow. Where it's not about talking about people, it's not about putting memes up and all this other stuff. It's just people who really just want to have a good time and have a good conversation. And I appreciate you all just taking a small moment of your time or your day and just watching what we're trying to do here. Because this is what we do. And Mike is trying to do that on his channel. Other people are trying to do it on their channel as well. I appreciate you just stopping by and just saying, "Hey, give it a like." We got 15 likes. We haven't had a whole lot of like live views, but I really just appreciate people just being here and doing this. I had a good time tonight.
This could be a good topic of conversation another time when you're talking about how Hollywood interprets history. To Liz's
Yes.
question, I can
Yeah.
answer Liz's question, and this is being genuine. Only about 3 to 5% of Braveheart is real.
Right.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
The rest of it is Hollywood fiction.
Oh, a lot of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I believe
So-
it was drawn and quartered. That was a
Oh
true part.
yeah. I mean, I'm actually going to do this from another channel. Once I get it all set up, I'll be taking the route that he sort of took. So you'll see what the route he took from Westminster to Smithfield, and how he was treated
Cool.
along the way. So I'll be doing that for my channel, the History channel. Me and my mate are doing it. I've got my mate's pure English. I managed to get him wearing a kilt to do it. I said it's part of the uniform, and he went, "I'm not wearing it." I said, "Well, it's part of the uniform, so you've got to wear it. If you want money, we get monetized. I'll be paying you, so you've got to wear it." And he didn't like that. He sulked.
Is he gonna do it?
Yeah, he's got to do it if he wants money. Yeah,
Okay. All right.
little
Because
twerp.
I
So,
love to see that.
just to clarify, Paul is paying another man to wear a kilt.
Oh, is that OnlyFans?
Nah.
Oh, is that OnlyFans or is that public? Somebody let me
Is it
know.
a kill,
I just
Paul, or
want to
is it
know.
a?
I just want to know, Paul. Is it OnlyFans? And are you gonna like rebroadcast that
Oh,
on your
hey.
channel?
No. I'm not casting any aspersions. I'm just trying to clarify what's going on.
Hey, listen.
Yeah,
You,
he's podcast on.
listen.
Because
Not that there's anything wrong with that. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
listen here,
Exactly.
I had to work for this guy for a year, and he was a bastard to me, and he's my best mate, and he treated me like crap. So this is a little bit back of karma. This is when I
What
can tell him what to do.
was his name? Veen. I'm just kidding.
Veen, man. That guy's been trashing me everywhere. Now I'm up on panel, he won't come up here. That coward. I'm gonna pull up, man. I'm gonna pull up.
That is a
Hey,
typical gentleman, isn't it? They're all over that shit.
yeah, when it gets under 110 where he's at, I'm pulling up, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Watch out, Veen. I'm coming for you in September, bro.
Hey, and by the
Yeah.
way, it's Spike. Hold on to that, Spike. Hold on to that in the chat. So because I'm getting ready to end the stream. And listen, I just want to say thank you. And as we always do, even though I'm the only one on camera, I want to start. I'm gonna go because I mean I got some big things going on tomorrow. I just got a big contract that it was awarded to me today, and I said that in my
Nice.
Discord. And today was a good day. I woke up at like 8:30. Actually, I woke up at 5:30. Got into my office, and I was just waiting. And this guy called me. He goes, "I don't like when people wait for me to like." Do blah blah blah. And he goes, it was early, and I'm just telling you, what you said in your presentation was the greatest presentation ever. And they want to put all these documents together, and they want to use you for this, blah blah blah. So today was a good day. And I don't care how many people watched us today. All I want to just tell you is that the people on this panel, including Mike, I'm going to include Mike P, Samantha P. Even though we don't see eye to eye on all the things that we talk about, I appreciate the fact that we all come together and we have conversation. Conversation is what I think makes the world go round. I think we can actually learn from each other. without trying to impose our will to make people think what we want to think them to think, believe, or otherwise. I appreciate everybody on this panel, and I appreciate everybody in the chat. But what I'm going to say now is I'm going to start with the last person to the first person that came on the panel, and let's just say some final words before we end the stream. Starting with, of course, even though she's my ride or die, I get it. Everybody knows she is me and I am her. Flaky Jake, Liz. So, Flaky Jake, parting words for everybody tonight before we end the stream.
Congratulations on your contract, first and foremost. I've been wondering about that because I knew you had said something in the last day or so about trying to get some business, or yeah, I can't remember how you alluded to it, but I picked up on it. So congrats on that. And all I can say is, yes, I agree. I only came up here because y'all weren't talking sports. And I figured you needed a little estrogen with all the testosterone. But yeah, I just want people to know this is genuine stuff. This is who we are. We're not any different behind the scenes. We are who we are. And I, for one, really enjoy that and appreciate it because I don't think there's enough of that on YouTube.
Thank you.
So
I really appreciate that. Paul, Pink Paul, you are up next.
Well, all I have to say is somebody get me out of here because I'm hiding away in Vic's basement and his pool boy's abusing me.
with the pool man. He's down there with the pool man.
Yeah, with the pool man, the pool boy. I don't care. They're abusing me, and this is not good. So please, somebody help me. You can call the FBI, MI5, MFI, CIA.
I'm gonna call Tom Cruise.
Yeah, or Tom Cruise.
Call Interpol.
MIA.
Somebody call Pornhub and get the Avengers down here. I'm being abused. Vic, you need to stop abusing me. And stop it now.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Let me free.
Oh,
Mr. P,
snap.
see your ear, dude.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
No promises. No promises.
I love it.
And
I love
you're
it.
a bad man.
Bad man.
And
Bad.
next
Bad.
time, use the KY warming jelly. Don't do it with a spit. It hurts.
Oh, Lord.
That's all I'm have to say.
Thank you, Paul.
On the head.
And by the way, again, let me reiterate, Paul is our guy. I love this guy with all the things that I could love about people on the YouTube streets. This is our guy. And I'm glad that you came over here and decided that you wanted to kind of, come back and be who you are and be the person that you are. I love it. And I'm just thankful that you decided to come over here and join us today. So thank you, Paul. Thank you for that.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
It's been a pleasure. Apart from Vic not using the KY jelly. It just hurt too much. Too much, mate.
You did. You made him mute up.
All right. Okay. So, Mr. P, the floor is yours, sir. The floor is yours.
I appreciate you you guys having me up. I like the fact that we have different opinions and different ideals, because it's there was a time where like it was normal to sit with somebody that didn't have your opinion and discuss and learn from each other. So I appreciate the opportunity to always sit with people that don't always agree with everything I say. So appreciate you guys having me.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for being here, man. I really, you don't understand how much I appreciate you just being here. I really do appreciate it. Mr. Vic Ferrari.
Hey, Hey, Brian, man, thank you as always. Um, like I said, I don't go on a lot of panels because the formats, don't do a lot for me. I like to talk to people. I like to exchange ideas, whether we agree, disagree, um, and talk in a mature manner, and yet have some fun. I mean, I think you guys have seen. I like that. I like to have fun, man. So I appreciate that, Brian. Mr. P. I think this may be even the first panel we're on together. I don't know. I know we talked the one time, backstage. Um, maybe I'll come over to your channel and come up sometime.
Great to have you. Yeah, and I'm trying to keep it more topic based and less.
Yeah.
It's
I'm
Brian.
No, for me, I mean, I'll tell you, I will come someplace, and I've talked to Brian about this too. If things start going in a direction I don't like, I'll just excuse myself, and I've done it on panels. It's not rage quitting or anything. I'll just say, hey, you know what, this isn't, for me, or I don't want to participate in this, and I'll just drop off. But I think you're bringing your channel, in a place that have topics, man, and I know you like to bring up people, even though maybe they're controversial in other places or are welcome in other places, to talk to them, man, and that's a good thing, and you make your own decisions. You don't let people tell you, oh, if you have this person here, I'm never coming back there. Well, okay, well, don't come back.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
And then if you see it's something that maybe you don't agree with, or maybe they're outside of whatever boundaries you're setting, you don't have them back, and but that's your guys' decision, right? And then that could even be me. I could come there and be like, hey, you know what? We don't want to do what you're doing, and you don't let me back, and that's okay. So anyways, it was a pleasure being up here with you. Yeah, Liz, Paul, man, people that are listening in and maybe hear me, kind of joking around with you guys, or even talking about Veen, and maybe don't understand the relationship that we have. Because I went into a chat a while back, and somebody was like, hey, man, what's your beef with Veen, man? What's going on? And I'm like, no, no. I'm like, no, it's just a joke, man. Because I will tell you this: the times where maybe I'm away or you guys don't see me, participating as much, Veen always reaches out to me. He says, "Hey, I haven't seen you. Is everything all right? You're being a little bit you're being a little bit distant, whatever." And I appreciate that. And man, being on the panel with Paul and joking around, man, makes my heart feel good. Because
Can
when
I
I
interject it for a minute, Vic?
absolutely,
For a minute?
absolutely,
I slag off Veen left, right, and centre. I do it as a joke. I know, and plus he's German, so they don't
Oh,
really
here we go.
the other in Germany.
Here we go.
But in all seriousness, Veen always gets in contact with me. If I haven't been in contact for a couple of days, he always asks how I'm doing. We always
Right.
have a laugh, and it's always a joke.
Yep.
And I've got much love for the man, apart from he still needs to owe me apology for bombing my pup.
That's it. And so the days when I post something or somebody says something maybe that's a little bit off color or whatever, and Paul or Veen don't have a comeback or a reply, it makes me a little bit sad, because I know that they're not in a place to do that, right? But the days that Paul will tell me, F your pool boy, or Vic's a righteous fud, man. That's when I know that he's feeling good, and those are the days that make me feel good, man. Like today.
And he
So thank
still
you,
needs to
Brian.
get me out the cellar.
But and getting back to our original topic, man. Whatever your kids want to do, if it's sports, if it's art, if it's the violin, if it's astronomy, if it's IT, encourage them to do it and support them. Just because it wasn't your dream doesn't mean it's not theirs.
Oh my God, yeah.
I used to tell my wife, hey, whatever they want to do, man. Hey, if they want to go and they want to be, they want to play the cello in the band, I'm all for it. I'm sure you'll send me I'm sure you could send me a video so I could see it.
Yep.
And then that was kind of my joke, meaning that I wouldn't be there, but I don't, whatever it might be, and whatever they choose to be, to be with their life, man, just support it 100%. I don't want to get into all the other things, that's going on with the kids today, but um, just support your kids, encourage them 100% to follow their dream. You know, whatever your dream might be, that's your dream.
Yep.
But let them follow their dream and support it. Maybe it's something you don't even understand, and that's okay. Then you can learn too.
Exactly.
So
Sure. Yeah.
that's my message, and I'm not really the piece of shit that Paul makes me out to be, man. I'm all right.
But you are the piece of shit that Dean makes you out to be.
Oh, absolutely. And the man, you motherfucker better keep my name out of his
Yo,
mouth.
motherfucker mouth.
All right there, Will. Calm down. We don't want another Oscar incident.
So
Next, he's gonna say he's gonna pull up on him.
I am. I'm pulling up, man. I'm
pulling up. I'm going real life. I'm real life right now because you made me mad. I'm gonna call your job. I'm gonna call your job.
Real life.
Dude, Jesus.
Do you want to go real life on me, Vic? You want to go real life on me?
Yeah, we're going real life.
I'm gonna call your job. I'm gonna call your job and get you fired, man. You don't even want to know. You don't know who I am.
Stop that, man. Making noise.
So listen. Let me start by saying this. We used to do live streams consistently on the same day, same hour, all the time. And I appreciate just the few watchers when we go live now because it's inconsistent. I enjoy this. And what you guys are seeing on this live stream is a glimpse of what we are all doing daily with Vic Ferrari, Liz, Lizard Brett, Paul, Bean, Mike P, Samantha P, Angel, Newfound Life, all the other people who are in our Discord. This is what we do when you don't even see us on live streams. To bring this to you on a live stream, it's just a bonus that you are enjoying us. And I really implore you, if you really want to get to know people on an intimate level, because we are all from different states, different parts of the country, if you really want to get to understand who we are, get on Discord with us. Talk to us on a day-to-day basis. Because this is what I really am trying to bring to YouTube, is the intimacy that you can have when you build relationships. It's not about, oh, this is something new. This person is coming in with this drama, and let's talk this and all that. That's not what we're about. We talk about it if we see it, and we want to get perspective. I get it. I'm not trying to hurt people's feelings, but we talk about things that we may have seen, interacted with on YouTube streams. So if you think that that's what we are about, I'm trying to clarify what we are trying to do with Drinks&Discussions. If you have a drink in your hand, talk about it. I miss Grumpy Drunk. I wish Grumpy Drunk would have came over here. And there was a question today. Who drinks more? Or who can handle their drinks more? Me or Grumpy Drunk? I'm calling a challenge with Grumpy Drunk.
No.
I challenge you, Grumpy Drunk.
Oh no.
Grumpy Drunk can drink beers. I get it all day long. But I guarantee you, he cannot put a bourbon in his hand, a whiskey in his hand, and last as long as I can. Challenge. This is a Grumpy Drunk challenge on YouTube. I love that guy. He's fantastic. I like his spirit. But at the end of the day, I am thankful for all the people that I'm surrounded with. All of you guys mean a lot to me. And if you guys thought there was something going on between me, Mr. P, Samantha P, and all that kind of stuff, we have differences of opinions a lot, but I still consider them as being friends of Drinks and Discussions, friends of mine. I continually would love to have Discord with them and talk to them and make sure that they are promoting their channel and doing what they want to do as well. Even though I don't agree with a lot of things that they say, I'm still in their corner. All the people in the chat, thank you. All the people on the panel, thank you. If there's any questions you have, topics that you want us to discuss, please leave a comment. We will talk about it. There's nothing that we are afraid to discuss. I promise you, there's nothing that we are afraid to discuss. So, from Big Ferrari, Paul, Sir Paul, Mike P, Mr. P, Liz, Flecky Jake, and myself, Drinks and Discussions. I thank you all for watching, and we hopefully will see you next time. I promise I'm trying to do a weekly live stream, hopefully. But my schedule is going to be busier. But if anybody else wants to represent Drinks and Discussions and do a live stream, please let me know. But I would love to continue doing these things because I think it's important for people to have these honest talks and and opinionated and without having people get their feelings hurt because we're coming from a good place. If you want to do it, please join us for Drinks and Discussions.